Chapter 1972. I'm not even 30 yet, and I'm already at the peak of the true spirit realm. It won't be a problem for me to reach the peak of the disaster transformation realm when I'm 100 years old. Let me ask you, when you were 30, were you not even at the peak of the Buddha light realm? Mu Feng's laughter stopped. He really wasn't at the peak of the Buddha light realm when he was 30. At that time, he had just reached the late stage of the Buddha light realm, and this was achieved with the help of the sect's resources. If he cultivated alone, it would be difficult for him to reach the Buddha light realm. Sway_Meng. You're twisting words and forcing logic. If you have the guts, then fight to the death. Don't talk nonsense. Mu Feng was about to explode. Qin Feng was so excited that he almost accepted Mu Feng's challenge. He had just stepped into the empty God realm level 3 and needed a master like Mu Feng to practice with. But when he thought about the fact that he was in the 80-kilometer city, Qin Feng gave up on the idea. If he accepted, he would have to display his empty God realm level 3 cultivation. That would attract the attention of Kirito and the others. Even Xin Hai wouldn't be able to accept his speed. Ha ha ha, weren't you so arrogant just now? Why aren't you talking now? Mu Feng thought Qin Feng was afraid of him and laughed again. Qin Feng looked at him as if he was looking at an idiot. There were so many idiots in the divine continent. Each one of them was tired of living and came to seek death. Senior brother Mu Feng, I didn't expect to see you here. How have you been? A laugh could be heard, and the airflow in the surroundings fluctuated slightly. Before anyone could notice, a man in a white robe was already standing in front of Mu Feng. He cupped his hands and greeted. Immortal Gourd Mu, he greets Senior Wumian. Su Wumian smiled and waved his hand. Ha. Junior brother Mu, you don't need to be so polite. We're all disciples of 6-star sects, and our sects have a good relationship. Before he could finish, Su Wumian's expression changed. He stared coldly at Qin Feng and shouted, It's you, kid? Then he looked at Mu Feng and asked, Senior brother Mu Feng, is this your immortal Gourd's disciple? Mu Feng had never seen Su Wumian act like this before. He immediately realized that there was a big problem and quickly explained, Junior brother Wumian, you've misunderstood. This kid has nothing to do with the immortal Gourd. He even has some grudges with it. Su Wumian heaved a sigh of relief. She was afraid that Mu Feng would say that Qin Feng was a disciple of the immortal Gourd. The moment she saw Qin Feng, Su Wumian immediately recognized him. This was the person that the Xingkuan sect had been searching for months. Before the genius competition, did you go to Pansha Market's Xingkuan workshop? Su Wumian's expression was cold. Qin Feng had long recognized Su Wumian. She was the great elder of the Xingkuan sect. She was the one who had issued a citywide warrant to kill Qin Feng, forcing Qin Feng to change his identity and appearance to Qiao Feng. Qin Feng knew that she had come for the spirit turtle shell. If he had been caught by Su Wumian several months ago, he would probably have died. But now that he had met her again, he did not show any mercy at all. You're not mistaken. I was the one who bought the ornament on the Azure Crane Blade. Back then, we were both willing parties. Why are you bringing this up now? Qin Feng's voice was cold. After confirming Qin Feng's identity, Su Wumian was both happy and angry. She was happy that she had found Qin Feng, but she was angry at Qin Feng's arrogant attitude. That ornament is extremely important to the Xingkuan workshop. Here are 100,000 spiritual stones. Hand it over. Su Wumian casually tossed out a storage ring. There were 100,000 high-grade spiritual stones inside. Back then, Qin Feng had spent 100,000 spiritual stones to buy the level 9 spirit turtle shell. The Xingkuan workshop's waiter in Pansha Market thought that he had made a great profit. In the end, he was almost scolded to death by Su Wumian. Now, the seal on the spirit turtle shell had already disappeared when the gate of life was opened. The spirit turtle shell had become a simple level 9 material. Even if he gave it back to Su Wumian, she probably would not want it. But Qin Feng would not give it to her. Once Su Wumian discovered that the seal on the spirit turtle shell had disappeared, he would definitely know that he had found the mountain of life. Elder Su sure knows how to joke. I did spend 100,000 spiritual stones to buy that ornament, but I like it very much. Why would I sell it? Qin Feng laughed. Killing intent flashed across Su Wumian's eyes. Clearly, he was running out of patience. If it were not for the fact that they were in the city, why would he waste his time talking to Qinfun? He would just slap him to death and search through his storage ring for the spirit turtle shell. 200,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Su Wumian showed no signs of backing down. He immediately doubled the price. Mu Feng and Mu He did not know what was going on between Qinfun and the Xinkuan school, so they could only watch from the side. I've said it before, the ornament is not for sale. Perhaps Elder Su's ears are not working? Qinfun's face was slightly cold. Su Wumian's body immediately surged with violent true yuan. As the Grand Elder of a 6-star crafting sect and a body condensation cultivator, when had a junior ever dared to speak to him like that? Brat, don't be so ungrateful. My patience is limited. 1 million spiritual stones. Will you sell it or not? Su Wumian was panicking. The spirit turtle shell was the key to opening the Mountain of Life. There were countless legends about the Mountain of Life, and each legend indicated that there was a rare treasure hidden inside. Mu Feng and Mu He were shocked. Some of the cultivators watching were also surprised. They had no idea what Su Wumian wanted to buy, but from what he said, it should be an ornament. It was hard to understand why a mere ornament would be priced at 1 million high-grade spiritual stones. Just when everyone thought Qinfun would change his mind under the temptation of money, they heard him say coldly, "Looks like Elder Su is very rich. All right, since you like that ornament so much, I won't force you. I'll sell it to you for 1 million spiritual stones." 1 million spiritual stones? The crowd gasped. Everyone looked at Qinfun strangely. Many people thought he was crazy. Su Wumian was enraged. Even if he knew the use of the spirit turtle shell, there was no way he would spend 1 million spiritual stones to buy it. Not to mention, he didn't have 1 million spiritual stones on him. Brat, are you tired of living? Su Wumian's body exploded with murderous intent. Qinfeng's expression didn't change. You really don't know how to be grateful, old man. I reluctantly gave up my ornament and sold it to you, but you want to kill me instead. Are all the disciples of the Xinkuan sect this ungrateful? Su Wumian's powerful aura dissipated. He had seen shameless people before, but he had never seen a cultivator as shameless as Qinfun. You're the one humiliating me, and you still have the face to say the words ungrateful. Good. Very good. I'll go deal with the auction first. When I'm free, I'll teach you a lesson. After Su Wumian calmed down, he realized that he was in the 80-mile city. His back was covered in a layer of cold sweat. Just now, he almost attacked Qinfun. He could imagine that if he made a move, before his attack could even land on Qinfun, he would be slapped to death by the guardian of the city. After Su Wumian left, Mu Feng and Mu He were still standing on the side. Qinfun realized that these two weren't here to cause trouble for him. It was very likely that they were here to participate in the auction. Seeing his enemies run away one after another, Qinfun was in a good mood. He was even more certain of the authority of the 80-mile city. Killing was not allowed here. Even the elders of the 6-star sects didn't dare to break the rules here. Although Mu Feng and Mu He's soul would occasionally scan Qinfun, he didn't care about them at all. In the 80-mile city, no one could do anything to the other. Qinfun just treated it like he was being stared at by wild dogs. As time went on, there were more and more cultivators in the square. Suddenly, shadows appeared in the sky. Before this, no one noticed the existence of these 4 people, not even Qinfun. The 4 people in the sky were shining with a blinding light. It was so bright that people couldn't open their eyes. These were the 4 guardians of the 80-mile city. When the surging aura from their bodies spread out, it immediately formed an invisible pressure, causing the noisy crowd in the square to quieten down. Welcome friends from afar to participate in the annual auction of the 80-mile city. The auction will be conducted fairly and openly. Anyone has the right to bid. Killing is strictly prohibited here. I hope everyone can maintain order. Hai Qiji, as the representative of the Guardians, said some opening words. During this time, his eyes inadvertently glanced at Qinfun. A faint murderous intent flashed across his eyes. Qin Fin clearly sensed this murderous intent. However, with his current cultivation, he couldn't fight against Hai Qiji, so he pretended that nothing had happened. The auction started on time. There were more than 100 companies participating in this auction. They were all from the 80-mile city. Qin Fin also saw Su Wumian in the line of companies. It seemed like the Xing Kuan Tool Workshop also had a shop in the 80-mile city. Other than the established companies, there were also many cultivators who signed up for the auction to auction their treasures. If their treasures were successfully auctioned, the profits would be split with the main organizer of the 80-mile city. The organizer of the auction was most likely the four guardians of the 80-mile city. This cooperation method was similar to other auction houses, so Qin Fin wasn't surprised. However, when he saw Su Wumian confirming the auction item with the organizer, a plan suddenly popped into his mind. Young hero, also want to auction an item? Yes. Qin Fin walked to the auction venue and was immediately greeted by a worker from the organizer. The worker continued to say, if you're auctioning an item in your own name, the organizer will take 30% of the profits. What do you think? Qin Fin wasn't really here to auction an item, but when he heard that the organizer wanted to take 30% of the profits, he was shocked. This ratio was too high. Moreover, the 80-mile city's auction was very popular. After this auction, who knows how much money the 80-mile city would earn? All of that money would probably fall into the pockets of the four guardians. Young hero, do you still want to auction? The worker reminded. Qin Fin quickly woke up and said, you misunderstood. I'm not auctioning an item in my own name. I'm from the Xing Kuan sect. Chapter 1973. The shop assistant was stunned. Oh, so you're a disciple of the Xing Kuan sect, but your shop has finished counting the auction items. What are you doing here? Qin Feng smiled. It's like this. After Elder Su Wumian checked the auction items with you, he found that there was a bottle of pills that he forgot to register. I'm here to replenish it. There were countless auction items in the 80-mile city auction every year. It was very common for Qin Feng to replenish the auction items. The shop assistant didn't think too much. He took out a pen and paper and said, all right, take out the replenishing item and I'll register it. Qin Feng was secretly delighted. He took out a normal-looking jade bottle. Inside was an entire bottle of Spirit Surge pills. Spirit Surge pills only appeared in the North Sand continent and didn't exist in the South Flat continent. This is a bottle of energy conversion pills. Our Xingkuan weapon workshop plans to auction it. Qin Feng handed over the jade bottle. The shop assistant only wrote down the name of the pill and the name of the Xingkuan weapon workshop. He didn't even open the jade bottle. All right, are there any other items? Qin Feng let out a sigh of relief. He knew that his guess was right. For a large auction like this, there wasn't enough manpower. There was no time to check the items one by one. Moreover, the auction company or individuals couldn't give false information. If they were investigated, they would be the ones in trouble. There's nothing else. Qin Feng left after finishing his business. He couldn't help but look forward to what kind of commotion the Spirit Surge pill would cause. After waiting for a while, the 80-mile city auction officially began. The first auction item was placed on the round auction stage. The first and last items of each auction were very rare and precious. This time, the opening item of the 80-mile city was a high-grade, true artifact grade sword, which immediately caused a sensation among the crowd. The treasure sword was called the Jade Water Sword. It was dark green and covered with water patterns. The patterns seemed to flow by themselves. It was like a dark green lake had formed the sword. As soon as the sword was displayed, many people in the square recognized it. If I'm not wrong, that's a Jade Water Sword. It said that the Jade Water Sword was made from the sea crystals of the fallen god ocean. If a cultivator with a water spirit root obtains this sword, their power will increase exponentially. This old man lacks a high-grade true artifact grade sword. What a pity. This true treasure sword is specially used by cultivators with water spiritual roots. Many cultivators who were planning to bid for the Jade Water Sword immediately gave up on the idea when they learned that it was a treasure sword specially used by cultivators with water spiritual roots. Even so, there were still several hundred people waiting to bid for the true treasure sword. It was clear that there were quite a few cultivators with spirit roots in the South Flat Continent. Director Hua, what's the starting bid for this jade water sword? Director Hua, you don't have to explain in detail. Don't waste my time. This sword is mine. The auction had not yet officially begun, but those cultivators who were preparing to bid for the item were already flushed with excitement. This kind of result made the participating companies and the organizers very satisfied. The little old man who was addressed as Manager Huo raised his true origin and said, "This jade water sword is a treasure sword provided by the 6-star equipment refining sect, the Star Kuan Weapon Workshop. The starting price is 10 million high-grade spirit stones, and each bid increment must be no less than 1 million spirit stones. In addition to spirit stones, bidders can also take out other cultivation resources as a condition for bidding, and the highest bid wins." As soon as Director Hui finished speaking, more than 10 voices rang out one after another. 15 million upper spiritual stones, 20 million spirit stones, 30 million spirit stones, 2 supreme-grade spirit stones, and 10 ice spirit crystals. 100 million spirit stones, 10 fire spirit crystals, and 5 soul crystals. As the price was raised again and again, many cultivators who were bidding silently backed out. The current price was so high that they were powerless. Qin Feng did not expect the first true treasure sword to be a treasure provided by the Star Kuan Weapon Workshop. It seemed that the Star Kuan Weapon Workshop was very powerful in the South Flat Continent, especially with countless spirit and true treasures in their sect. Otherwise, they would not have taken out a high-grade true treasure sword to auction. If Qin Feng did not already have a supreme-grade true treasure imprisonment saber, he would really have an urge to bid for the Jade Water Sword. However, he wasn't interested in the Jade Water Sword at all. Even if he didn't have a high-grade true artifact sword, he had bought a top-grade true artifact sword model not long ago at the Panshan City Square's goods exchange. He planned to use it to forge the immortal artifact Heaven Rainbow. Thinking of the Heaven Rainbow, Qin Feng remembered that he had not collected all the main materials to forge the Heaven Rainbow. He did not know if he would be able to find those materials at the 80-mile city auction. After 15 minutes, the bidding for the Jade Water Sword was coming to an end. Only 2 cultivators were still bidding, and the price of the sword was approaching a sky-high price. 500 million high-grade spirit stones, an Earth-grade sword skill manual, 5 supreme-grade spirit stones, 5 level 7 demonic beast cores, and 10 soul crystals. I already said that this Jade Water Sword is mine. If you want to increase the price, I will fight you to the end. A black-robed elder, who was determined to win at the beginning, had a cold expression. Qin Feng scanned him with his divine sense and could not see through his cultivation. However, he could feel a strong demonic aura from him. It was obvious that he was a demonic cultivator. The person bidding against the demonic cultivator was a human cultivator wearing the uniform of the Heavenly Sword sect. Qin Feng had a slight understanding of the Heavenly Sword sect. This was a 6-star sect that specialized in the Tao of the Sword. Back at the Pansha Market Square, Qin Feng had obtained an extreme-grade true artifact sword model, which came from the Heavenly Sword sect's young elder, Hu Chong. The Heavenly Sword sect's elder was obviously not Hu Chong. When he heard the sky-high price of 500 million spirit stones, his face immediately became very serious. As a disciple of a sect that specialized in swordsmanship, a sword was very meaningful to him. Moreover, the Heavenly Sword sect's great elder, Hu Yamian, was a cultivator with a water spiritual root. Therefore, the Jade Water Sword was made for him. Unfortunately, Hu Yamian only had 300 million spirit stones. Moreover, the old demonic cultivator also had an earth-grade sword skill and many other precious resources. It was not something that Hu Yamian could compete for. When the sky-high price of 500 million spirit stones appeared, the crowd in the square immediately became excited. Which sect's elder is that old man from? His wealth is amazing. What sect's great elder? That's Song Island's Nanming Palace's great protector Chi Mei. So he's a demonic cultivator. No wonder he's so rich. Rumor has it that the islands around the Godfall Ocean are extremely rich in cultivation resources. There are countless spirit herbs and spirit stones. However, if we human cultivators haven't reached cauldron-filling state, we don't even dare to go deep into the Godfall Ocean. Rumor has it that disaster transformation state and even truth realization state cultivators have died in the Godfall Ocean. Heavenly Sword Sect's great elder Hu Yumian originally didn't know Chi Mei's identity. When he heard the crowd's discussion, he was in complete despair. Competing with Nanming Palace's great elder in terms of wealth? This was simply asking for humiliation. The exciting sound of bidding didn't appear for a long time. Moments later, Manager Hois said, "Is there anyone who can bid higher than Protector Chi Mei? It's rare to see a top-grade cultivation artifact. If you miss this, you'll have to wait another year." Manager Hu tried his best to raise the price, but no one bid. It seemed that Chi Mei's price had reached the limit. The sky-high price of 500 million spirit stones had exceeded the expectations of Xing Kuan Forge and the organizer of the 80-mile city. In the end, Manager Hua made the final call, and the first treasure of the auction went to Chi Mei. Chi Mei was in a great mood after getting the sword and went to pay the fee. The auction continued, and the commotion caused by the blue water sword soon dissipated. Everyone focused on the new auction items. The level of the large-scale auction in the 80-mile city was extremely high, and the items being auctioned were all very precious. Medicinal pills were all rank 5 spirit pills and above, cultivation methods and martial skills were above profound grade. And from time to time, a few rank 7 spirit grasses were auctioned, as well as rare materials for refining and arrays. The atmosphere of the auction was heated. There were many cultivators competing for each item. However, these items still couldn't enter Qin Feng's eyes. He had better pills or cultivation methods and martial techniques in his storage ring. Halfway through the auction, the Dominating Sky Furnace Trading Company's items were auctioned. Although they were called items, they were actually a large number of human cauldrons. There were human cultivators, devil cultivators, ghost cultivators, and even demonic cultivators in the human cauldrons. Qinfen was a little upset when he saw these cultivators were locked in cages and pushed onto the stage. They were all people with flesh and blood, and they had family and friends. However, Qin Feng was powerless. He couldn't even solve his own problems, so he didn't have the energy to solve other people's problems. Moreover, the Divine Supreme Continent was a place where the strong preyed on the weak. Unfair things like this could be seen everywhere. If Qin Feng interfered when he saw injustice, he would die of exhaustion. The 108th item is the 88 human cauldrons provided by the Dominating Sky Furnace Trading Company. These human cauldrons range from the immortal Qi realm to the true spirit realm. They will be sold as a package. The starting price is 5 million spirit stones, and each increment must be no less than 100,000 spirit stones, said Manager Hua. Qin Feng's heart sank. The starting price of the 88 human cauldrons was only 5 million spirit stones. In other words, a cultivator was only worth a little more than 50,000 spirit stones. Moreover, there were a few true spirit realm experts among the human cauldrons. They must have put in a lot of hard work to reach their current realm. In the end, they were bought for tens of thousands of spirit stones. Just thinking about it was enough to make him feel depressed. Senior brother Mu Feng, we'll take all of these human cauldrons. That way, we can satisfy the island lord's needs. Not far away, Mu He transmitted his voice to Mu Feng. You're in charge of the auction. The price is not a problem. We must get these human cauldrons, replied Mu Feng. That bastard Qin got lucky. If we get the 88 human cauldrons, we'll have to bring them back to Gourd Island immediately after the auction. We won't have the time to deal with that ant. Mui's tone was full of unwillingness. Mu Feng sneered, he's just a true spirit realm ant. Killing him is only a matter of time. What's the trouble? Chapter 1974. The two were conversing through telepathy. Most people would not notice if they did not pay attention. However, Qinfen had been paying attention to the Immortal Gourd and Dominating Furnace Trading Company's movements. Therefore, he heard every word of their conversation. 6 million spiritual stones. 7 million spiritual stones. 10 million spiritual stones, and a pink flying sword. The 88 furnaces attracted the attention of many cultivators. In just half an incense stick's time, the price had reached 10 million spiritual stones. However, Muhi had yet to make a bid. He was waiting for the small fries to compete with each other for a few rounds. He wanted to scare off some of the weaker competitors before making the final bid. However, plans could never keep up with the changes. When the price rose to within the range of Mu He and Mu Feng's expectations, a voice suddenly rang out, shocking the crowd. 50 million high-grade spiritual stones. Whoosh! The crowd on the square was in an uproar. The few cultivators who were still arguing with each other shut their mouths and looked at Qin Fun in disbelief. For an ordinary cultivator, a cultivation furnace would not be of much use. Only a sect or an individual who practiced a special cultivation method could use a cultivation furnace to advance quickly. Therefore, the price of furnaces in the Divine Continent had always been stagnant. Furnaces were usually used by cultivators with low cultivation, such as True Spirit or Hollow God Realm cultivators. How could they be easily captured and used as furnaces? When Qin Fun raised the price from 10 million to 50 million, it was enough to shock the crowd. It's that bastard with the surname Qin. He must be going against us. I'm so angry. Mui's face darkened. Mu Feng rolled his eyes. He was a body condensation stage cultivator, but he was so angry at Qin Fun's actions that his mind was in chaos. After a moment of silence, Supervisor Hu stood up and shouted, "Is there anyone who can bid higher than that cultivator?" However, no one bid. Qin Fun's method of raising the price was too fierce. Many people were still in a daze. Seeing that the 88 furnaces were about to fall into Qin Fun's hands, Mui looked at Mu Feng anxiously and asked, "Senior brother, what should we do now?" What else can we do? Compete with him." Mu Feng's expression was cold. Mui said with a bitter expression, "Senior brother, that ant doesn't need a human furnace at all. He's obviously trying to trick us. I'm sure that as long as we increase the price, he will continue to increase it." Mu Feng glared at him and reprimanded, "We are disciples of a dignified 6-star sect, the Immortal Gourd. How can we be afraid of that ant? Let him increase the price. I want to see how much wealth he has. Even if we suffer a loss for now, we must kill that ant after the auction is over. At that time, we will take back all the money we lost from him." Muhi's eyes lit up, and all the worries in his heart disappeared. He shouted, 15 million spirit stones and 2 powder equipment. The plaza was in an uproar again. Mui's price had changed their perception of him once again. Wasn't it just 88 furnaces? Was there a need to call out such a high price? You don't know yet, but the young cultivator who bid 10 million has a grudge against Elder Mu, he of the Celestial Gourd. 3 days ago, they almost fought at the dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company. Later, a disciple of the Celestial Gourd challenged that young cultivator and was instantly killed. I see. I was wondering how a mere 88 furnaces could reach a price of more than 10 million spirit stones. It turns out that it's not just an auction, but a battle between the two parties. That young man's cultivation is only at the peak true spirit realm. How dare he challenge Elder Mu, his authority? The Divine Continent is really full of ants who don't know what's good for them. There's going to be a good show. I'm going to place a bet on how high they will raise the price. The odds are 3. 1 if it's less than 50 million spirit stones, and 5 if it's more than 50 million spirit stones. Is there anyone who wants to bet? The atmosphere in the plaza was extremely lively. The cultivators who were watching were even more excited than Qin Fun and Mu He. When Mu He shouted 15 million spirit stones, he immediately looked at Qin Fun with an arrogant and playful expression. As soon as he finished speaking, he heard Qin Fun's indifferent voice saying 15 million spirit stones and 3 powder equipment. The smile on Mu He's face instantly froze. Even though he knew that Qin Fun was going against the Celestial Gourd, Qin Fun's action of only adding 100,000 spirit stones on purpose was too provocative. Grandson with the surname Qin, don't look for trouble. Be careful, or you'll lose your life. Mu He scolded. Qin Fun said indifferently, The 80-mile city's auction is fair and open. Are you not going to let others raise the price? Of course, you're from the South Flat Continent's six-star sect, the Celestial Gourd. I'm just a lone cultivator, and I don't dare to say anything. If you're threatening me, then I'll withdraw. Muhi was stunned. Based on his understanding of Qin Fun, this kid was completely fearless. Why did he suddenly change and scare him away with just a few words? But in the next second, Muhi understood that Qin Fun wasn't afraid of anything. He was just digging a pit for him to jump into. Instantly, several powerful divine senses swept over Muhi. He even felt the air around him solidifying. His body felt like it was pressed down by a mountain, and he couldn't move. The four divine senses came from the four great protectors of the 80-mile city. It was said that the four of them were cauldron-filling realm almighties. Muhi almost fainted from being stared at by four cauldron-filling realm almighties at the same time. How dare you? You dare to cause trouble in the 80-mile city's auction? Do you believe that I won't destroy you with one palm? Xin Hai's cold and majestic voice resounded through the entire plaza. Muhi was so scared that his body trembled. It was difficult for him to even speak. Even Mu Feng panicked. As he cursed Muhi for being an idiot, he immediately cupped his hands and said, "Seniors, you've misunderstood. I, the Celestial Gourd Absolute, have no intention of causing trouble in the 80-mile city. It's also my junior brother's fault for being too rash. I hope seniors can forgive us. We'll strictly follow the rules of the 80-mile city. Since it's your first time, I'll let it go. If you dare to threaten me again, don't blame me for bullying you." Xin Hai's voice was still echoing in the plaza, but his dazzling figure had already disappeared into the sky. Muhi and Xin Hai heaved a sigh of relief and looked at Qin Fun viciously. "What are you standing there for? Continue bidding with that bastard. We must get those 88 cauldrons. This concerns the Celestial Gourd's dignity," Mu Feng said telepathically. Muhi didn't dare to delay and immediately raised the price. 20 million spirit stones for 3 powder set spiritual equipment. Almost at the same time, Qin Fun also raised the price. 21 million spirit stones for 4 powder set spiritual equipment. 50 million spirit stones for 3 scarlet magic equipment. 51 million spirit stones for 4 scarlet magic equipment. The price kept rising. Qin Fun only raised the price by 100,000 spirit stones each time and then added a spiritual equipment. This was a very provocative behavior. Soon, all the cultivators in the plaza understood what was going on. That young man is so interesting. He's going to piss off the 2 elders of the Celestial Gourd. Young cultivators these days don't use their brains. They're only looking for a moment of pleasure, but they don't care about the consequences. That cultivator reached the peak of the true spirit realm at such a young age. He's also a genius cultivator. Unfortunately, he's going to die soon. 88 cauldrons sold for 50 million spirit stones. He's really trying to save face. At this moment, Muhi and Mu Feng's faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. Their faces seemed to have swollen from anger. "Senior brother, we can't go on like this." Muhi stopped raising the price. Mu Feng said, "This damned ant, don't ever fall into my hands. I'm going to pull out his tendons, peel off his skin, and turn him into an immortal cauldron. He'll be invaded by spiritual insects every day and suffer a fate worse than death." Under Mu Feng's seemingly amiable and righteous appearance, there was an incomparably cruel and dark heart. He continued, "Directly raise the price to 100 million spirit stones. When he continues to raise the price, then you can withdraw from the auction. This old man wants to see how that ant will get 100 million spirit stones. At that time, if he can't hand over the spirit stones, there's no need for us to do anything. The protectors of the 80-mile city will first kill him." Mu Feng changed his strategy at the last minute. Mui's eyes lit up and he regained his spirit. "Senior brother, are you sure you want to do this? What if I raise the price to 100 million and that bastard doesn't follow?" "That won't happen. Looking at how confident he was before, 100 million is just the beginning. He's sure that we won't back down. Then we'll beat him at his own game." After the two had reached an agreement, Muhi shouted, 100 million high-grade spirit stones, and 3 low-grade spiritual weapons. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, the crowd went into an uproar. The large-scale auction in the 80-mile city was also halfway through, but there were very few treasures that could be sold for more than 100 million spirit stones. No one thought that a mere 88 cultivation furnaces could be sold for a sky-high price of 100 million spirit stones. Were the 2 elders of the Immortal Gourd sect stupid? However, aside from the 100 million spirit stones, the 3 low-grade spiritual weapons were even more exaggerated. If converted, they would be worth at least 300 million spirit stones. Moreover, they were treasures that were priceless. Mui didn't care about the crowd's shock. After he raised the price, he waited anxiously for Qin Fun's voice. Previously, every time he raised the price, Qin Fun's voice would follow. However, this time, the situation was not good. Qin Fun didn't raise the price. Qin, why aren't you raising the price? After waiting for a dozen seconds, Mu couldn't help but ask in panic. Qin Fun's face was full of smiles. He heard the conversation between Mu Feng and Mu He. How could he continue to raise the price? It's none of your business whether I raise the price or not. You threatened me to back out of the auction. Are you trying to force me to raise the price now? As soon as he finished speaking, a powerful divine sense swept over Mu He. When that powerful and familiar aura surrounded him, Mu He was so scared that he almost knelt down. I didn't mean it like that. Mu He felt wronged. He didn't dare to offend Xian Hai. That's for the best. If you don't like me, just say it. If you can't, just hit me. I promise I won't fight back. Qin Fun smiled. Mu He and Mu Feng rolled their eyes. Fighting in the city? Do you think we're stupid? Chapter 1975. Are you going to increase the price or not? Mu couldn't do anything to Qin Feng. He couldn't vent his anger, so he had to ask in a gentle manner. Qin Feng smiled and said, Do you want me to increase the price? When Mu saw the smile on Qin Feng's face, an ominous feeling rose in his heart. He felt that his and senior brother Mu Feng's plan had been seen through. Ahem. If you want to increase the price, then increase it. It's better if you don't. I advise you not to increase the price. You're just a true spirit realm rogue cultivator. Where did you get so much wealth? Mu wanted to provoke Qin Feng, but he used the wrong person. Qin Feng laughed and said, Haha, all right. Since you can see that I'm pretending to be rich, then I'll fulfill your wish. The 88 cultivation furnaces are yours. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Mu and Mu Feng were speechless. Hey, you coward. Are you really going to back out? Are you going to do something? Mu became anxious. Spending 100 million spiritual stones and 3 low-grade true artifacts for 88 cultivation furnaces? Wasn't he sick in the head? I've already said that I'm backing out of this auction. This auction has nothing to do with me anymore. Could it be that Elder Mu, he wants to force me to increase the price? Then I'll have to find Senior Xian Hai to help me. When Qin Feng finished speaking, Mu immediately felt the familiar and powerful divine sense sweep over him again. Tears welled up in his eyes. How can you bully me like this? Are there any other cultivators who want to increase the price? Director was snapped out of his daze and shouted. The 88 cultivation furnaces were sold for 100 million spiritual stones and 3 low-grade true artifacts. This was a great surprise for the dominating Heaven Cultivation Furnace Trading Company and the organizers of the 80-mile city. In just a few seconds, Director Huan knocked the gavel and shouted excitedly, Haha! Congratulations to the 2 elders of Celestial Gourd for winning the 88 cultivation furnaces of the dominating Heaven Cultivation Furnace Trading Company. Please complete the handover procedures as soon as possible. The crowd was in an uproar. The final price of this auction was out of everyone's expectations. Mu Feng and Mu, he stood rooted to the ground with bloodshot eyes. If this matter was known by the Island Master and the Vice Island Master, they would definitely skin the 2 of them alive. Therefore, the price of the 100 million spirit stones and the 3 low-grade true weapons had to be collected by themselves. And the culprit who caused all this was Qin Fun. The 2 of them immediately swept their gazes towards Qin Fun, revealing a ferocious expression. However, no matter how much hatred they had, they could only suppress it in their hearts. If they attacked Qin Feng in the 80-kilometer city, they would die before they could even harm a hair on Qin Feng's head. Senior brother, what do we do now? Why don't we pay the money together first, and then we'll kill that Qin brat to vent our anger. Mui transmitted his voice. Mu Feng scolded him angrily. You idiot, can't you tell? That ant with the surname Qin can hear our voice transmissions, so stop spouting nonsense. Mui's expression changed drastically. He subconsciously transmitted his voice again. How is this possible? That Qin brat is only at the true spirit realm. Even if he can hear my voice transmissions, how can he hear senior brothers? In the eyes of the two, Qin Feng was still at the peak of the true spirit realm. They didn't even notice that Qin Feng had already stepped into the Nihility God Realm Level 3. Previously, Qin Feng had heard Mu He and Kiryo's voice transmissions, so Mu He knew that Qin Feng's divine sense was as strong as a Nihility God Realm cultivator's. However, senior brother Mu Feng had already stepped into the body condensation realm. He didn't believe that a true spirit cultivator could eavesdrop on a body condensation realm cultivator's voice transmissions. Even Mu Feng couldn't figure out the reason, but he was sure that Qin Feng had really heard his voice transmissions. Before he could say anything, Qin Feng's voice had already entered their minds. Elders of the Celestial Gourd, don't be afraid. I'm just a true spirit cultivator. How could I possibly hear your voice transmissions? That's right. If you can't gather the money for the auction, I can help you inform the Celestial Gourd and let all the disciples of the Celestial Gourd help you gather the money. Hot blood surged up their throats. If they didn't swallow it in time, they would have vomited blood on the spot. Ayaya, you true spirit ant, I want to see how long you can be so arrogant. Mu Feng was about to explode with anger. He waved his sleeves and walked toward the venue where the handover procedures were being handled. Mui cast a murderous look at Qin Feng. He originally wanted to say a few harsh words, but when he thought of Qin Feng's poisonous tongue, he could only turn around and follow his senior brother angrily. No one cared about their departure. When a new auction item was pushed onto the stage, everyone's attention was immediately drawn back to the auction. The next few items were not bad, but they didn't enter Qin Feng's eyes. At this time, the auction was nearing its end, so Qin Feng couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. He deliberately stayed in the 80-mile city for 3 days, but he ended up with nothing. At this time, Director Hua's voice sounded again, and a new item was pushed out. There was a silk tray on the display table, and on the tray was a seemingly ordinary jade bottle. The next item is from the Shinkuan Weapon Workshop. It's a bottle of Vitality Elixir. The starting price is 1 million spirit stones, and each increment must be no less than 100,000 spirit stones. The Vitality Elixir was a type of Class 2, Grade 7 King Elixir. It could help peak stage Sage King cultivators break through to the Buddha Light realm quickly. This was originally a rare and valuable elixir, but in today's large-scale auction, it didn't seem that eye-catching. However, there were trillions of cultivators in the South Plateau continent, and there were countless peak stage Sage Kings. Soon, tens of thousands of people jumped out to bid for this bottle of Vitality Elixir. The starting price of 1 million spirit stones soared to 10 million. Qin Feng, who had been in a bored state, suddenly became excited. Of course, he knew that this bottle of Vitality Elixir was auctioned under the name of the Shinkuan Weapon Workshop. When did we auction off the Vitality Elixir? Su Wumian, who was in the Shinkuan Weapon Workshop's group, frowned. Everyone knew that the Shinkuan sect was the only 6-star smithing sect in the South Plateau continent. They had always refined and sold spiritual and true weapons. So when had they ever sold elixirs? The group of disciples stared at each other in confusion. Someone said carefully, "Great Elder Wu Mian, I don't think anyone auctioned off the elixir. We are a smithing sect, so how could we sell elixirs?" Su Wumian was depressed. If it wasn't a disciple of her sect auctioning off the Vitality Elixir, then where did this bottle of elixir come from? Even if the Vitality Elixir wasn't eye-catching in today's auction, it was still a bottle of Class 2, Grade 7 King Elixir. It couldn't have been auctioned off under the name of the Shinkuin Weapon Workshop, right? Wasn't that the behavior of a fool? For a while, the people of the Shinkuin sect couldn't figure out the reason behind this. At this moment, the auction had already concluded. The bottle of Vitality Elixir was sold for 15 million spirit stones and a level 5 spiritual herb. It was won by a peak stage Sage King cultivator. The result was good. The Shinkuin Weapon Workshop had inexplicably earned 15 million spirit stones and a level 5 spiritual herb. Even if they had to split 30% of the profits from the 80-mile city, it was still a lot of profit. Thinking up to this point, Su Wumian pretended not to know anything. However, before the new auction item was pushed onto the round stage, a cry of surprise came from the square. This bottle isn't Vitality Elixir. The 80-mile city's auction house actually faked it? This shout immediately caused a commotion in the crowd. The 80-mile city had been established for hundreds of years. Every year, it would hold a large-scale auction. Because there were many treasures and high integrity, it attracted many cultivators every year. But now, someone shouted that the 80-mile city's auction was faked. How could the crowd not be shocked? Who are you? Don't talk nonsense here. Ever since the 80-mile city was established, it has always been fair and open. Every year, they hold an auction that is fair and open. Fraud is not allowed. An ant like you dares to slander the 80-mile city? Do you believe that I won't kill you with one palm? Instantly, for powerful divine, senses locked onto the lone cultivator who won the Vitality Elixir. The latter was so scared that he fell to the ground on his butt. As if realizing death was approaching, he hurriedly shouted, "Protectors, please calm down. I have no intention of slandering the 80-mile city." But just now, Manager Hua clearly said it was a bottle of Vitality Elixir. Why was a bottle of unknown golden elixir? What is going on? Hai Qiji retracted the murderous intent around him. He indeed wanted to kill the lone cultivator, but he had already spoken. If he didn't find out the truth first, the prestige that the 80-mile city had built up over hundreds of years would be gone. Hai Qiji's hand reached into the air, and the jade bottle that was originally in the lone cultivator's hand flew into his hand. He opened the bottle in front of everyone and poured out the elixir inside. Instantly, the fragrance of the elixir filled the air and floated around the empty square. The elixir inside the jade bottle was light green in color and emitted a bewitching light. There were hundreds of thousands of cultivators in the square, but none of them could recognize this elixir. What kind of elixir is this? Even Hai Qiji was puzzled. Xin Hai seemed to be mumbling to himself. This elixir is only a level 4, level 6 golden elixir, but it has an indescribable, mysterious aura. This is an ancient elixir. This is a bottle of ancient elixir. The protector suddenly exclaimed. A strange aura suddenly floated around the square. Everyone's eyes emitted a green light as they stared at the elixir in Hai Qiji's hand. If it was not for Hai Qiji's powerful cultivation base, someone would have rushed up to snatch it. A bottle of ancient elixir? That was a peerless treasure. Almost all cultivators in the Divine Continent had heard about it. The Divine Continent had developed for tens of thousands of years. The earliest ancient era was the era of Almighties. It was said that during that era, Void God Realm cultivators were everywhere, and Body Condensation Realm Almighties were as numerous as dogs. As for the Cauldron Filling State, that was the beginning of cultivation. There were countless true form ultimate gods and tens of thousands of true God Realm ultimate gods. The main reason for the prosperity of cultivation was the complete array of elixirs in that era. Up until now, many elixir recipes that existed in the ancient era had been lost and disappeared. Those elixir recipes that were passed down were called ancient elixir recipes and were definitely peerless treasures that could only be found by chance. Chapter 1976. Xin Hai had already regained his senses. He looked at the pill in Hai Qiji's hand and asked, "Brother Li Tian, are you sure it's an ancient pill?" Li Tian was the great demon cultivator protector of the 80-mile city. He had a serious expression, as if he wasn't completely sure. A long time ago, I came across an ancient abode by chance and obtained a shocking fortuitous encounter there. It was precisely because of this that I was able to obtain my current accomplishments. Moreover, the medicinal pill in Hai Chi-Ji's hand emitted an aura similar to that of the ancient ruins. I'm guessing that it's most likely an ancient medicinal pill. Li Tian's words were very persuasive. At his level, there was no way his senses would be wrong. The ghost cultivator protector suddenly shot out a black mist that shrouded the sky. When the black mist formed, the cultivators on the square realized they couldn't use their spirit sense to scan it. The crowd was in an uproar. It was as if the ancient pill had disappeared. "In Fei, what are you doing?" Xian Hai asked coldly. In Fei's voice sounded like two pieces of metal rubbing against each other. Other than the three protectors in the black mist, no one else could hear him. "This is an ancient pill, and it's a spirit surge pill. Rumor has it that the spirit surge pill appeared in the North Sand continent 2 years ago. I didn't expect it to be true." Xian Hai and the other two were shocked. This was a bottle of spirit surge pill? Although they hadn't seen the spirit surge pill before, they knew what it was. Rumor had it that the spirit surge pill was a level 4 or a level 6 golden pill, but its effects were amazing. It could allow cultivators without spirit roots to have any spirit roots. However, the recipe of the spirit surge pill had been lost for a long time. It hadn't even appeared in the Eastfield continent. Now it was right in front of the four of them. This pill is a level 4 or level 6 golden pill. Could it really be a spirit surge pill? Hai Chi-Ji's voice was trembling. As a cauldron-filling state cultivator, he rarely showed such a shocked expression. Although Hai Chi-Ji's tone was questioning, he didn't need an answer. He was certain that the pill in his hand was the spirit surge pill. Xian Hai and the other two also realized the shocking fact and had their own thoughts. Since everyone has discovered that this is a spirit surge pill, then there's no need for us to hide it. The reason why I released the black fog poison field was to shield everyone's divine sense. After that, we'll split this bottle of spirit surge pills evenly with our 3 senior and junior brothers. In Fei expressed his stance. Hai Chi-Ji immediately nodded and poured out all the spirit surge pills in the jade bottle, intending to split them evenly. Xian Hai was jolted back to his senses, and he immediately stopped him. "This is an item that the Starken Weapon Workshop put up for auction, and it has already been won by that independent cultivator. How can we split it? Isn't that breaking the rules of the 80-mile city?" "Brother Xinhai, this is a bottle of spirit surge pills." In Fei retorted, "Don't talk to me about the rules of the 80-mile city. The rules here were set by the 4 of us, so it's up to the 4 of us to decide what to do. For the past several hundred years, the 4 of us have been maintaining the peace and stability of the 80-mile city. Now that we have a bottle of spirit surge pills as a reward, what's wrong with that?" Hai Chi-Ji also chimed in. "I agree with Brother In Fei's suggestion. We have worked hard to maintain the 80-mile city for several hundred years, so what's wrong with getting a bottle of spirit surge pills? Besides, other than the 4 of us, no one else knows that this is a spirit surge pill. Later, we can just return that independent cultivator's bid price to him and give his Starken Weapon Workshop a bottle of energy transformation pills, and this matter will be resolved." Xian Hai's expression was cold. He couldn't commit such a fraud. Li Tian, who had been silent all this while, suddenly spoke. "I agree with Xian Hai's suggestion. Our 80-mile city has been impartial for several hundred years. Now that our reputation has been ruined because of a bottle of spirit surge pills, it's not worth it." In Fei and Hai Chi-Ji's expressions darkened, and they didn't continue to split the spirit surge pills equally. Now that both sides had different opinions, the situation was in a stalemate. At this moment, the cultivators on the square were already in an uproar. They tried to use their divine senses to sweep into the black mist again and again, but they couldn't find anything. Some people started to shout the names of the 4 protectors, seeking an explanation, but no one answered them. Qin Fan also tried to use his divine sense to sweep into the black mist, but after his first failure, he didn't try a second time. When his divine sense touched the edge of the black mist, Qin Fan immediately understood what it was. It was extremely similar to the field that Senior Xian Hai had used when he visited the Autumn Leaf Pavilion 3 days ago. Qinfen had seen Xian Hai's field before, so he was sure that it wasn't Xian Hai who had used this field. The black mist carried a familiar ghost cultivator aura, so Qinfen guessed that it was the ghost cultivator who had used it. Since he had used the field, Qinfen immediately understood the ghost cultivator's intention. That ghost cultivator had probably recognized the spirit surge pill and wanted to keep it for himself or share it with the other 3 protectors. However, even though he had guessed the ghost cultivator's intention, there was nothing he could do. After seeing the field, Qinfen realized how powerful it was. It was an upgrade of the realm, and with his current cultivation, he couldn't break it at all. Boom! At this moment, a muffled sound came from the sky. The black mist quickly dissipated, and the clear blue sky once again appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The 4 protectors of the 80-mile city hovered in the air above their heads. Everyone immediately looked at Hai Qiji's hand. When they saw that the ancient pill was still there, they relaxed. For protectors, what happened just now? Someone asked. Hai Qiji and Yin Fei's faces were cold, as if they had encountered something very unpleasant. Li Tian stood in the air with an indifferent expression and didn't speak. In the end, it was Xian Hai who spoke. I'm sorry, everyone. Just now, we 4 protectors were studying that bottle of ancient pill. In the end, we came to the same conclusion. That bottle is indeed an ancient pill, and it's the long-lost Spirit Surge pill. The crowd was instantly excited. Spirit Surge pill? What kind of pill is that? I remember now. 2 years ago, there was a rumor in the North Sand Continent that the Spirit Surge pill had appeared. I thought it was just a gimmick from the North Sand Continent, but it seems like it's true. The Spirit Surge pill is a miraculous pill that can help cultivators without spiritual roots grow any spiritual root they want. I can't believe we can still see such a miraculous pill in the divine world today. When someone mentioned the effects of the Spirit Surge pill, the entire square was in an uproar. The Xinkuan faction's disciples were dumbfounded. Su Wumian's eyes were filled with shock. This bottle of Spirit Surge pill was auctioned under their Xinkuan Weapon Workshop's name. It was supposed to be a bottle of transforming energy pills, so how did it suddenly turn into a Spirit Surge pill? Grand Elder Wu Mian, what's going on with that bottle of Spirit Surge pill? A disciple couldn't help but ask. How could Su Wumian answer that question? He wanted to find someone else to ask, but in the next moment, a look of panic appeared on his face, as if he realized something serious had happened. Not good. Someone is deliberately framing our Xinkuan Weapon Workshop. The disciples had never seen Grand Elder Wu Mian in such a panic before, so they immediately became nervous. Grand Elder Wu Mian, what happened? Su Wumian scolded after regaining his composure. Which bastard put the Spirit Surge pill under our Xinkuan Weapon Workshop's name for auction? Isn't this harming us? Everyone knows how precious the Spirit Surge pill is. Now, that everyone knows that the Xinkuan Weapon Workshop has the Spirit Surge pill, some people might even think that the pill recipe is in Xinkuan faction. What kind of disaster do you think Xinkuan faction will face? After hearing Su Wumian's words, the disciples all revealed a look of horror. If the South Flat States spread the news that the Xinkuan sect had the pill recipe for the Spirit Surge pill in less than half a month, the huge 6-star sect would be razed to the ground. That's a bottle of Spirit Surge pill? Then what about my auction? The rogue cultivator who got the Spirit Surge pill didn't know whether to be happy or sad. Xian Hai spoke again. This is a bottle of Spirit Surge pill, but it was auctioned under the name of Transforming Energy Pill. I think it's very likely that Xinkuan Weapon Workshop took the wrong pill, so this bottle won't count for now. We need to ask Xinkuan faction's opinion. Hundreds of thousands of eyes immediately looked in the same direction, where the Xinkuan faction disciples were standing. The disciples were trembling in fear. Even Su Wu Mian, who had stepped into the body condensation stage, felt he couldn't breathe. The cultivators on the square were like hungry wolves, ready to devour them at any moment. Where is the representative of Xinkuan faction? Come out and explain. Seeing that there was no movement, Xian Hai shouted again. Su Wumian could only bite the bullet and fly onto the auction stage. She said nervously, Xingkuan faction disciple, Su Wumian greets the 4 great protectors of 80 Mile City. No need for formalities. What's with that bottle of spirit surge pill? Xian Hai asked. Subconsciously, Su Wumian wanted to say that this was not an item auctioned by the Xingkuan sect. But on second thought, this was a bottle of the long-lost ancient pill, the spirit charging pill. Every pill represented a chance for a cultivator without a spirit root to develop any spirit root. If it was taken back to the sect and given to some genius disciples, it would greatly increase the overall strength of the Xingkuan sect. A few decades later, the Xingkuan sect might become a 7-star sect of the South Flat Continent. Why aren't you talking? Xian Hai was getting impatient. Su Wumian woke up and immediately said, Xian Hai Sr., this bottle of Spirit Surge pill was a mistake. Xingkuan Weapon Workshop was going to auction the Energy Surge pill, but Disciple took the wrong one. If that's the case, then the decision is in your hands. You can sell the Spirit Charge pill to that wandering cultivator at the same price as before, or you can give him a new bottle of Energy Melting pills. Xian Hai's expression was one of anticipation. Su Wumian didn't need to make a decision. Everyone could guess that he would keep the Spirit Surge pill. As expected, Su Wumian cupped his fist to the sky and said, Xian Hai Sr., this time our Xingkuan Weapon Workshop was careless. To show our sincerity, I will give the lone cultivator a bottle of Energy Surge pill and give 1 million Spirit Stones to 80 Mile City. Xian Hai nodded and said, Good. 80 Mile City has always been fair. Since you took the wrong pill, you can change it. As for the 1 million Spirit Stones, you don't need to give it to 80 Mile City. Give it to that lone cultivator as compensation. Xian Hai's selfless way of doing things was praised by many cultivators. Su Wumian immediately took out a bottle of soul-melting pills from her storage ring and gave it to the row cultivator, as well as 1 million Spirit Stones. Then she carefully took the Spirit Surge pill from Hai Chi-Ji's hand and immediately threw it into her storage ring. Chapter 1977. Seeing a bottle of Spirit Surge pills fall into Su Wu Mian's hands, Hai Chi-Ji and Yin Fei's faces froze. Elder Su Wu Mian, please wait. Junior has a few questions to ask. Su Wu Mian was about to leave the stage when Qin Feng's voice came from the crowd. Su Wu Mian saw Qin Feng and his face turned green. He and Qin Feng were mortal enemies. He didn't believe Qin Feng would ask any good questions. But Qin Feng's attitude was very sincere, so Su Wu Mian couldn't refuse or scold him in front of everyone. That would make him look like a gentleman. Ask whatever you want. I still have important matters to attend to, so I'll be leaving soon. Su Wu Mian acted like a senior. Qin Feng smiled. Elder Su Wu Mian, I'm very curious about your sect's Spirit Surge pill. Rumor has it that this pill's recipe has been lost for a long time. Where did you get it? This question touched everyone's heart. Hundreds of thousands of cultivators all stared at the stage. Su Wu Mian's palms were covered in cold sweat. He knew Qin Feng wouldn't ask any good questions. If he knew this earlier, he wouldn't care about his dignity and just left. But it was too late now. Su Wu Mian realized that if he didn't give everyone a satisfactory answer, he wouldn't be able to leave here in one piece. The Spirit Surge pill was found by our sect leader by chance in a cave dwelling in an ancient ruin. Originally, I planned to show it to everyone at the auction and had no intention of auctioning it. Unexpectedly, a disciple of the sect was careless and mistook the Spirit Surge pill for the Yuan Transformation pill and auctioned it off. This has brought inconvenience to everyone. Please forgive me. Su Wu Mian was obviously an old fox. He made up a lie right away. Many cultivators believed him, but Qin Feng sneered inside. That Spirit Surge pill was clearly auctioned by him under the name of Xingkuan Smith Workshop. What ancient cave dwelling? It was all bullshit. Oh, where's that ancient cave dwelling? There should be a lot of treasures in there, right? Qin Feng continued to ask. The crowd on the square was boiling. An ancient ruined cave abode was a fortuitous encounter that everyone yearned for. Many famous mighty figures in the South Flat Continent had encountered an ancient ruined cave abode when they were young. The fiendish cultivator protector Li Tian, who was floating in the air, was one of them. Su Wumian felt even more guilty. How could there be an ancient cave dwelling? This was all a lie he made up on the spot. However, he had already said it, so there was no reason for him to take it back. Otherwise, the matter of the spirit surge pill would definitely be exposed. Cough, cough. As we all know, the Immortal's cave abode in the ancient ruins is something that can only be discovered by luck. How can I casually reveal such a place? Moreover, my sect leader has never mentioned the location of the Immortal's cave abode in front of me. I don't even know where it is. This explanation was reasonable, and the square was filled with sighs of despair. So it's like that. Qin Feng thought for a while. Su Wumian thought he had nothing else to ask. Just as he wiped the sweat off his forehead, Qin Feng continued, "But I saw that the bottle of Spirit Surge pill wasn't formed that long ago. It's at most 2 years old. How could it be from an ancient ruined cave abode?" This question hit the nail on the head. The cultivators on the square immediately reacted. When they thought back to the Spirit Surge pill they saw before, they were sure that it wasn't that old. In terms of observation of the Spirit Surge pill, the 4 great protectors of the 80-mile city had the most detailed observation, especially Hai Qiji. He had personally grabbed the bottle of Spirit Surge pill and examined it closely for a long time. When Qin Feng pointed out his suspicions, Hai Qiji's expression changed drastically. He was sure that the bottle of Spirit Surge pill was only 2 years old. From the looks of it, Xing Kuan Sect's Grand Elder Su Wumian was lying. Su Wumian immediately felt countless divine sense sweep over his body. It felt like he was stripped naked and being stared at by hundreds of thousands of people. Among these divine senses were a large number of Saint Kings and Buddha light ants. Normally, if these kinds of ants dared to use their divine sense to look at his body, he would have slapped them to death. You don't talk nonsense. That bottle of Spirit Surge pill was found by the sect head in an ancient ruined cave abode. Su Wumian glared at Qin Feng angrily. If looks could kill, Qin Feng would have died 1,000 times already. Qin Feng acted like he didn't know anything and said, "As for the age of that bottle of Spirit Surge pill, I think anyone with a discerning eye can see something fishy. I don't understand what Grand Elder Su Wumian is trying to hide by lying. Could it be that the Spirit Surge pill wasn't found in the ancient cave abode? Then where did it come from?" Su Wumian was speechless. How would he know where that bottle of Spirit Surge pills came from? He only knew which crazy cultivator was auctioning the Spirit Surge pill in the name of the Xing Kuan Weapon Workshop. Seeing that Su Wumian didn't reply, the crowd began to discuss. Looks like the Spirit Surge pill really wasn't found in the ancient ruined cave abode. Rumor has it that 2 years ago, the Spirit Surge pill appeared in the North Sand Continent. The age of that Spirit Surge pill is just right. Could it be that the Xing Kuan sect bought it from the North Sand Continent? Perhaps the rumor of the Spirit Surge pill appearing in the North Sand Continent is true, but the Spirit Surge pill would never reach the South Flat Continent. Such a miraculous pill must be in short supply in the North Sand Continent. Why would the people there be willing to sell it to the South Flat Continent? I know. Could it be that the Xing Kuan sect obtained the pill recipe for the Spirit Surge pill? That bottle of Spirit Surge pill was made by them. The imagination of hundreds of thousands of cultivators was heaven-defying. Very soon, someone said what Qin Feng was thinking. The reason why Qin Feng went through so much trouble to auction the Spirit Surge pill in the name of the Xing Kuan Weapon Workshop was to make the Xing Kuan Weapon Workshop fall into the water and make everyone suspect that the Xing Kuan sect was secretly hiding the pill recipe. Now that he had achieved his goal, Qin Feng believed that even if he didn't do anything to the Xing Kuan sect in the future, there would be other sects and people who would cause trouble for the Xing Kuan sect. Don't talk nonsense. This bottle of Spirit Surge pill was really found by the sect leader in the ancient cave abode. TSK? The crowd snorted. Su Wumian's eyes were about to pop out. She had no choice but to shout, "All right, I admit that the Spirit Surge pill doesn't belong to the Xing Kuan sect. I wonder who auctioned this bottle under the name of the Xing Kuan Weapon Workshop." I hope that cultivator can step forward and seek justice for the Xing Kuan sect. This was definitely not an era for telling the truth, whether it was on Earth or the divine supreme mainland. Do you think we're idiots? Who would auction such a valuable spirit surge pill under someone else's name? Isn't that crazy? Grand Elder Wu Mian, there's no need to quibble. The more you explain, the more it shows that you're guilty. I think there's an 80% chance that your sect obtained the pill formula for the spirit surge pill. This pill formula can benefit all the cultivators of the South Flat Continent. Your sect is a 6-star sect, after all, so you should be impartial and announce the pill formula to the public. No wonder the Xing Kuan sect has been developing so quickly in recent years. It's almost catching up to a 7-star sect. So it's because they secretly hid the pill recipe. Chapter 1978. Su Wumian wanted to cry, but no tears came out. If only Xing Kuan's sect had the recipe for the spirit surge pill. Why would he be tricked by a mere bottle of spirit surge pill? At this moment, Su Wumian hated the bastard who used the Xing Kuan Smith workshop to auction the spirit surge pill. If he knew his identity, he would definitely kill him. However, now was not the time to talk about revenge. The most important thing was to clear up everyone's misunderstanding of Xing Kuan's sect. But Su Wumian knew that no matter how he explained, no one would believe him. Senior XN High, Xing Kuan's sect still has some business to take care of. I must return to the sect immediately. Su Wumian planned to take the spirit surge pill and run. Yin Fei and Hai Chi Ji stared at him coldly, like he was a piece of fat meat that was about to fly away. Xin Hai's expression remained calm as he waved his hand and said, "Whether you stay or leave is your own choice. The 4 protectors of the 80-mile city will not force you to stay." Su Wumian sighed in relief. He wasn't afraid of the hundreds of thousands of cultivators on the square. He was more worried that the protectors of the 80-mile city would target the spirit surge pill. This was the territory of the 80-mile city. If Xin Hai and the other protectors wanted the spirit surge pill, Su Wumian wouldn't be able to resist. "Apologies, fellow cultivators. I'll be leaving first." Su Wumian clasped his hands and disappeared on his flying sword. He didn't plan on leaving the 80-mile city right away. He wanted to send the news of the spirit surge pill back to Xing Kuan's sect and wait for the sect leader's arrangements. Su Wumian's departure caused a wave of sighs in the square. This meant that a bottle of spirit surge pill had flown away just like that. The auction continued as normal. However, many cultivators were still immersed in the excitement of the spirit surge pill and didn't care about the items being auctioned. This was what Qin Feng wanted to achieve. Even though he was at Nihility God Realm Level 3, he wasn't confident that he could take on Xing Kuan's sect, the Immortal Gourd, and the dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company at the same time. Plus, he had to bring his father and grandfather with him. Now that the news of Xing Kuan's sect hiding the spirit surge pill had spread like wildfire, Su Wumian was under a lot of pressure. He couldn't even take care of his own matters. How could he have the time to deal with Qin Feng? As such, Qin Feng's only enemies were the Celestial Gourd and the dominating Heaven Furnace firm. As for Mu Feng and Mu He in the Immortal Gourd, he wasn't afraid of them. The dominating Heaven Furnace firm would at most send out Kilio and Hai Meng, but they wouldn't be able to threaten Qin Feng. Qin Feng didn't have much hope for the large auction in the 80-kilometer city. Just as he was about to sneak away, the spirit-seeking bug in the system gave off a strong response. "Little pig, what treasure did the spirit-seeking bug find?" Qin Feng immediately stopped. After several treasure hunts, he was already very optimistic about the spirit-seeking bug's treasure hunting ability. Even a mountain of life was sensed by the spirit-seeking bug. "I don't know exactly what treasure it is, but judging from the spirit-seeking bug's intense reaction, it should be a very powerful treasure," Little Pig said excitedly. Qin Feng immediately looked in the direction the spirit-seeking bug was sensing. His gaze fell on the auction stage. At this moment, a new item was pushed onto the stage. It was a long and wide ruler. The ruler was made of some unknown material. It was jet black and looked like a piece of broken stone. The treasure sensed by the spirit-seeking bug was that broken stone. "What the hell is this?" Why is a broken stone being auctioned? What a waste of everyone's time. How many items are there in the 80-kilometer city's auction? Is there a treasure more amazing than the spirit-charging pill? The following items are all personal items. I don't think there will be any treasures. Everyone, let's go. The stone was placed on the display shelf, causing everyone to ridicule it. Director was said with an awkward expression, "Everyone, please calm down." This item was put up for auction by a wandering cultivator. According to the registration information, that wandering cultivator doesn't know what it is. It might be a rare treasure. The starting price is 100,000 high-quality spirit stones. Each increment must be no less than 10,000 spirit stones. When it came to rare treasures, everyone naturally understood. Rare treasures were like miraculous pills. They were rare treasures. However, true rare treasures were very difficult to distinguish. It was possible that you wouldn't recognize it even if it was placed in front of you. Every year in the 80-kilometer city, there would be some wandering cultivators who put up rare treasures for auction. They didn't even know what those items were. They just came to try their luck. Maybe some powerful cultivators would recognize it and buy it at a high price. In the beginning, when rare treasures were put up for auction, everyone fought fiercely. However, after a few years of auction, everyone found that many of those so-called rare treasures were useless. Therefore, the popularity of rare treasures gradually died down. Now, the starting price of rare treasures was only 100,000 spirit stones. When Director Hua shouted the starting price, the square became unusually quiet. Any previous auction item would attract many cultivators to bid for it. However, at this time, no one wanted the stone on the stage. Using such a rare treasure to cheat people? Do you think we're stupid? What the hell is that thing? It looks like a ruler, but it's made of stone. What could it be used for? It can't even chop firewood. Director Hua, let's move on to the next auction item. No one will want this broken stone. The square was filled with shouts. Director Hua's face was full of embarrassment. Just as he was about to change the next item, a sudden voice came from the crowd. 110,000 spirit stones. Hundreds of thousands of gazes swept towards the source of the voice. They wanted to see which idiot cultivator wanted to spend 100,000 spirit stones to buy a broken stone. When they saw the face of the cultivator who shouted the bid, many people came to a sudden realization. The one who called out the bid was the young cultivator who had bid against the immortal gourd for 88 cultivation furnaces not long ago. Later, he had even publicly questioned the Grand Elder of Star Kuin's sect about the Spirit Surge pill. In the eyes of everyone, these two actions were very idiotic. He had offended two six-star sects for no reason. Many cultivators had long suspected that there was something wrong with Qin Fun's brain. Seeing that it was him who stood up to shout the price, it was understandable. Qin Fun couldn't be bothered with everyone's discussion. He was worried about another matter. Although he couldn't see what the stone was, since the spirit-seeking bug showed such a strong reaction, it meant that it was a rare treasure. Qin Fun was afraid that some Almighty would also see the treasure. If there was really a cauldron-filling state Almighty who jumped out to bid, Qin Fun wondered if he should withdraw. However, after a while, he realized that he seemed to be thinking too much. There were no other cultivators who were interested in that broken stone with the shape of a ruler. Is there anyone else who wants to bid for this treasure? Don't be fooled by its appearance. It looks just like a broken stone. Maybe there is an unknown treasure hidden inside. Director who tried to confuse the crowd again. After all, the final price of 110,000 spirit stones was too low. Not to mention the fact that the 80-mile city basically wouldn't get any money. Just the news of it would be embarrassing enough. However, his words were useless. Most of the cultivators in the square had come to the 80-mile city's auction before. Director Hua also said the same thing in the previous auctions. He didn't even change his words. 120,000 high-grade spirit stones. However, just as Director Hua was about to close the deal, another voice suddenly came out. Everyone immediately looked over and saw that it was Tyrannical Furnace Firm's Kirio who was bidding. Not long ago, Tyrannical Furnace Firm sold the 88 human furnaces for 100 million high-grade spirit stones and 3 low-grade true artifacts. It could be said that they made a lot of money. After that, Mu Feng and Mu He tried to bargain with Kirio, but were mercilessly rejected. When Qin Feng saw Kirio come out to bid, he immediately understood the other party's intention. With Kirio's experience, it was impossible for him to recognize the mystery of the stone. Moreover, he deliberately increased the price by 10,000 spirit stones. This was clearly going against him. Qin Feng knew that if he increased the price again, the other party would also increase the price. He had used this trick on Mu He and Mu Feng not long ago, but he didn't expect that he would be counterattacked. However, he couldn't back down. Otherwise, he might miss out on a treasure. After some careful consideration, Qin Feng shouted again, "I didn't expect Tyrannical Furnace Firm's elder Kirio to also have his eyes on this treasure. However, I advise you to withdraw as soon as possible because I am determined to obtain this treasure." Kirio was furious in front of everyone. "You ant cultivator, do you know how to speak? This old man's name is Kirio. Don't call me that if you don't know me." Qin Feng was deliberately angering him to make him lose his mind. As if he couldn't see the other party's anger, he laughed and said, "Elder Kirio, why are you so angry? Of course I know your name is Kirio, but don't you think it's very intimate for me to call you Kirio?" "Kirio." A burst of laughter came from the square. "You ant, besides being good at arguing, what other skills do you have? This old man is too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Are you going to increase the price or not?" Kirio was angry. Qin Feng looked at him with a smile and said, "Of course I will increase the price. I just said that this treasure is a peerless treasure. No matter how much you increase it, I will accompany you to the end. How about this? Not long ago, your Tyrannical Furnace firm made a lot of money. Let's play a bit bigger and increase the price by 10 million spirit stones. How about it? I bid 10 million high-grade spirit stones." When Qin Feng's words fell, the square burst into an uproar. Everyone had seen rich cultivators, but they had never seen a cultivator as rich as Qin Feng. In the eyes of everyone, Qin Feng couldn't even be described as rich. This guy spending 10 million spirit stones to buy a broken stone was simply an idiotic action. When the bid of 10 million was shouted, Qin Feng looked at Kirio with a playful expression. However, Kirio's expression became even more proud as he faced the sky and laughed. "Haha, surname Qin grandson. Do you really think this old man is an idiot? You want to bid 10 million for a broken stone? Are you out of your mind? Since you have so much money, this old man will let you have it. That broken stone is yours." Ha ha ha. So it turned out that Kirio deliberately dug a pit for Qin Feng. This trick was exactly the same as when Qin Feng cheated the Immortal Gourd. However, Qin Feng was sneering in his heart. How could he not see through Kirio's thoughts? He deliberately raised the price of the stone from 100,000 to 10 million just to trick Kirio into leaving. To any cultivator in the square, spending 10 million spirit stones to buy a piece of trash was absolutely an idiotic action. However, only Qin Feng firmly believed that spending 10 million spirit stones was worth it, let alone 10 million. If Kirio still wanted to increase the price, Qin Feng would definitely fight to the end. Chapter 1979. Kirio was still laughing nonstop as if he had just eaten a fart. He had suffered many losses in Qin Feng's hands these past few days. Now that he thought he had cheated Qin Feng, he became complacent. "Elder Kirio, don't laugh yourself to death. Isn't it just 10 million spirit stones? Is there need to be so exaggerated?" Qin Feng realized that the wondrous stone was in his hands and was in a good mood. Kirio's face turned cold, but he quickly revealed a playful smile. "Grandson surnamed Qin, don't pretend to be calm. No one would feel good after being cheated of 10 million spirit stones. Just treat this as me teaching you a lesson. Learn from your mistakes and don't be such an idiot in the future." Qin Feng said indifferently. According to what Elder Gigi said, the two elders of the Immortal Gourd spent 100 million upper-grade spirit stones and 3 low-grade true artifacts to buy 88 cultivation furnaces. Shouldn't they be committing suicide now? You said I'm an idiot that means the two elders of the immortal gourd are worse than idiots. Kirio almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He angrily roared, "Surnamed Chin, don't slander me. When did I say the immortal gourd elders are worse than idiots? Although you didn't say it, that's what you think in your heart." "Bullshit. This old man is an upright person. How could I speak ill of others behind their backs?" Kirio's face turned red because he really thought that way. Originally, the discussion was about Chin Fen spending 10 million spirit stones to buy useless rock. However, Elder Immortal Gourd was somehow involved. At this time, Mu He and Mu Feng were still standing in the plaza. They were planning to target Chin Fen and take their revenge. In the end, they almost fainted from anger when they heard Chin Feng and Kirito describe them as worse than idiots. "Elder Kirio, don't say any more. Our Immortal Gourd is no longer in contact with the dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company. Is it fun to slander us behind our backs?" Mu Feng could no longer hold back the anger in his heart and roared. Kirio was at a loss. It was clearly Chin Feng who brought up the previous matter. What did it have to do with him? "Elder Mu Feng, don't fall into that surnamed Chin's trap again. He's obviously trying to sow discord between us. From the beginning to the end, I've never said that you're worse than an idiot," Kirio said angrily. Mu Feng gritted his teeth, and a violent surge of true essence surged from his body. However, he did not dare to make a move because he was within 80 kilometers of the city. "I told you to shut up. Let's not bring up the past. Let's mind our own business from now on." Seeing Mu Feng's vile attitude, how could Kirito swallow it? He roared, "If you don't want to interact with us, then don't. With your intelligence, do you think our dominating Heaven Furnace trading firm wants to have a deep relationship with you?" "You?" A mouthful of blood surged up Mu Feng's throat, but he forcefully swallowed it back down. Seeing that the two of them were about to fight, a violent true essence suddenly fell from the sky. In midair, that true essence automatically separated and crashed into Mu Feng and Kirito's bodies. Two loud sounds seemed to explode at the same time. Mu Feng flew backwards and spat out a mouthful of blood. Kirito flew even further and didn't stand up for a long time. "You've broken the rules of 80 kilometers of the city time and time again. Do you really think that us four protectors don't exist?" Xin Hai's cold voice resounded, making it hard for the crowd to breathe. For a moment, the crowd was shocked. That dominating Heaven Furnace trading firm's Kirito was a Nihility God Stage level 3 demon cultivator. The great elder of the Immortal Gourd, Mu Feng, was rumored to have stepped into the body condensation realm. Yet, these two powerful beings were as weak as ants in front of Xin Hai. "Senior Xin Hai, please calm your anger. This junior was reckless. This junior will retreat now." Mu Feng didn't dare to have any resentment. He didn't even care about his injuries as he started to plead. Kirito forced himself to climb up and bowed 90 degrees. "Kirito knows his mistake. I hope Senior Xin Hai will show mercy." Xin Hai didn't have any killing intent. Otherwise, the two of them would have already died. How would he have the chance to plead? "Retreat immediately. Don't be an eyesore." Just as Xin Hai finished speaking, Kirito and Mu Feng immediately retreated. Director Huo woke up and quickly mediated. "Young hero Chin has bid 10 million spirit stones to buy the treasure. Is there anyone else?" After waiting for a while, no one called out a price. Director Hua made the final decision. "Congratulations, young hero Chin. You won a treasure. Please go to the back and handle the handover procedures." Chin Feng heaved a sigh of relief when he finally got the strange stone. He immediately rushed to the place where the handover procedures were handled and took out 10 million upper-grade spirit stones to exchange for the strange stone. The stone was in the shape of a long and wide ruler. It was about 1.5 meters long. It was unknown what material it was made of, but it was extremely heavy. Even when Chin Fen grabbed the stone for the first time, he didn't manage to lift it. He had to use his true energy again to barely lift the stone. The spirit-seeking bug responded even more strongly in his mind. Even Little Pig was extremely excited. However, the two of them didn't know the origin of the stone. They just felt that it was not simple. Qin Feng could only find a corner with fewer people to study it. When he used his divine sense to scan the stone, he found that the stone seemed to be boundless. The end of his divine sense was just darkness. He couldn't see the end. That dark realm was very magical. It gave Qin Feng a mysterious and strange feeling. It was as if he had never been to that place before. It really is a treasure. Although he still didn't know the origin of the stone, Qin Feng realized that it was unusual. He also found that there was a seal engraved on the stone. The level of the seal was extremely high. With his current formation skills, he couldn't understand it. However, the seal had been sealed for a long time. He could use refining methods to gradually refine the seal. Unfortunately, Qin Feng's refining skills were very ordinary. He couldn't help but think that it was time to study refining knowledge. After fiddling with it for a while, Qin Feng put the strange stone away. He was in a very dangerous situation right now. It wasn't the time to study the strange stone. He named this strange stone Tsang Qi. This stone was obtained in the 80-mile city near Tsang Island. It looked like a ruler, so it was named Tsang Qi after the auction. A few more treasures appeared that attracted the crowd. However, none of them caught Qin Feng's attention. When the auction ended, Qin Feng didn't go to the inn to find his father and grandfather. Because he suddenly obtained the Tsang Qi, he changed his plan. He planned to go to Tsang Island alone to participate in the Sword Realm competition. After the competition, he would come back to pick up his father and grandfather. Qin Feng made this decision after careful consideration. Although no one else bid against him for the Tsang Qi other than Kirito, who could be sure that no one else had discovered the secret of the Tsang Qi. After all, there were hundreds of thousands of cultivators gathered in the 80-mile city. Among them, there was no lack of body condensation or even cauldron filling state cultivators. Could it be that those cauldron filling state cultivators didn't notice anything fishy? Qin Feng took advantage of the chaos to find Xinhai. He promised Xinhai that he would meet him at the Sword Mountain in a month and challenge the Sword Realm on behalf of Xinhai's disciples. So, Qin Feng didn't need to be polite with Xinhai. He went straight to the point. Qinbei, I will definitely appear at the Sword Mountain in a month. However, I still have things to take care of during this time. I hope Qinbei can help me take care of my father and grandfather. Xinhai had met Qin Emperor and Qin Shitian in the dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company, but he didn't know the relationship between them and Qin Feng until now. He couldn't help but feel puzzled. Qin Feng had reached the peak stage of the real spirit realm at such a young age. So why was his father and grandfather so weak that they hadn't even broken through the Buddha light? He didn't ask and said firmly, "Go in peace. With me at the 80-mile city, no one will dare to bully your family." After a pause, Xinhai added, "After you leave the 80-mile city, be careful of the celestial gourd people." Even if Xinhai didn't remind him, Qin Feng knew that Mu He and Mu Feng wanted to kill him. He cupped his hands at Xinhai to express his gratitude and left the 80-mile city immediately. Because the auction had just ended, countless cultivators left the 80-mile city. Qin Feng could even see many flying swords and flying artifacts flying past him after flying for dozens of miles. He didn't care about others, even Mu He and Mu Feng temporarily. His divine sense covered the area 10 miles around him, searching for cultivators with powerful divine senses. In the beginning, he could still sense a few cultivators above the body condensation realm following him. But gradually, those powerful cultivators disappeared. Now, there were no real powerful cultivators following him. Qin Feng didn't dare to be careless. He increased his speed and flew for hundreds of miles. During this time, there was no powerful divine sense. It seemed that there were no powerful cultivators following him. Qin Feng let out a sigh of relief. He realized that he might have worried too much. It seemed that no one had discovered the secret of Tsang Qi otherwise. Those powerful cultivators would have followed him. After flying for half a day, there were very few cultivators around. The scenery around him changed from a wilderness to a lush green forest. According to the map, Qin Feng flew for another 50 miles in the northwest direction and officially entered the Tsang Island. Qin Feng put away his flying sword and landed in a forest. He stood there with his hands behind his back, as if he was waiting for someone. In less than half an hour, a large flying ship landed in the forest. A group of cultivators wearing gourd robes came down from the flying ship. "Qin Feng, let's see where you can run to now." He cursed as soon as he got off the flying ship. It was clear that he hated Qin Feng very much. Mu Feng stood under the flying ship and didn't say anything. His face was even worse than Mu He's. As for the 6 gourd disciples that followed him, they rushed to Qin Feng and surrounded him. I was wondering why I felt that there were a few stray dogs chasing me. "So it's you guys." Qin Feng's expression didn't change in the face of the disciples. He gritted his teeth and shouted, "You're just an ant. How dare you be so stubborn in the face of death? I advise you to hand over 100 million spirit stones and 3 low-grade true weapons. If I'm in a good mood, I might spare your life." It seemed that Mu He and Mu Feng had been cheated by the auction. Otherwise, they wouldn't have mentioned the spirit stones first. They would have killed Qin Feng without hesitation. P.S. I haven't asked for monthly votes for a long time. This month, I'm going to rush to the monthly votes list. Those who like this book, please support me. Use your most beautiful gesture to throw the monthly votes at me. Thank you very much. Chapter 1980. Qin Feng looked at Mu He as if he was looking at an idiot. "Who do you think you are? How dare you threaten me?" Mu He was stunned and couldn't understand what was going on. He couldn't understand where Qin Feng got his confidence from. He was just a true spirit cultivator. Even if he could kill Mu Zhengyi, who was at the peak stage of the true spirit realm, he couldn't possibly fight a void god stage powerhouse. Moreover, senior brother Mu Feng was at the body condensation stage. Before Mu He could make a move, Mu Feng suddenly said, "You're at the peak stage of the true spirit realm at such a young age. I heard from junior brother Mu He that you killed Mu Zhengyi's disciple in an instant. You must be a genius. The cultivation level of the South Flat Continent is much lower than that of the West Sea Continent and Eastfield Continent. It would be a pity to see a genius like you die." Mu He looked at his senior brother in surprise, not understanding what he was trying to say. Qin Feng couldn't understand his senior brother's thoughts, but he knew that he and the Celestial Gourd had developed to the point where their feud couldn't be resolved. How could Mu Feng suddenly change for the better? He simply kept silent and waited for the other party to reveal his foxtail. Mu Feng put on the demeanor of an expert and continued, "My Celestial Gourd is one of the rare 6-star sects in the South Flat Continent. Do you have any thoughts of joining us?" The 6 Celestial Gourd disciples were shocked. They even suspected that Elder Mu Feng's brain wasn't working. Mu He said anxiously, "Senior brother, that ant killed our disciple. How can we let him go? You want to take him in as a disciple?" Mu Feng glared at Mu He but didn't say anything. He looked at Qin Feng and continued, "What do you think of my suggestion? If you join the Celestial Gourd, you'll be nurtured with endless cultivation resources, and your cultivation will increase rapidly." The Celestial Gourd disciples were speechless. There was clearly something fishy about the enemy suddenly throwing out all sorts of bait. Qin Feng wasn't a fool and wouldn't be tricked by Mu Feng's flowery words. "Don't try to fool me, you dog. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? Mu Feng suppressed his anger but pretended to be calm. He indeed didn't want to take Qin Feng in as a disciple. He suddenly had a new plan. Not long ago, Xinkuan sect's Su Wunyan recognized Qin Feng at the auction and almost fought him. Earlier, the Xinkuan sect had issued a citywide wanted order in the Panshan market, offering a high bounty for a cultivator. This matter had spread like wildfire, so Mu Feng had naturally heard of it. Mu Feng keenly captured that Qin Feng was a wanted person by the Xinkuan sect. Rumor had it that the Xinkuan sect wanted Qin Feng because of a key that could open the Mountain of Life. Looking at how Qin Feng had reached the peak of the true spirit realm at such a young age and was extremely wealthy, Mu Feng was even more certain that Qin Feng had obtained the key and could even open the door of life. "Young hero Qin, you misunderstand. I sincerely want to take you as my disciple." Mu Feng had a kind expression on his face. Perhaps killing a peak true spirit disciple is a big deal in your and Mu He's eyes, but it's nothing much in my eyes. At my level, I hope to see the South Flat Continent cultivators unite and raise their cultivation level to the same level as the West Sea Continent or even the Eastfield Continent. Disciple Mu Jingyi can't come back to life. Revenge breeds revenge. If you agree to come back to the Celestial Gourd sect with me, we'll write off all our grievances. You just need to cultivate in the Celestial Gourd, strengthen the Celestial Gourd sect, and contribute to the prosperity of the South Flat Continent. Mu Feng said that he cared about the world. He was on a completely different level. However, when the same words came out of Mu Feng's mouth, Qin Fen felt that it was extremely awkward. However, when it came out of the mouths of Taoist Barefoot and Xen Hai, Qin Fen felt admiration for them. Senior brother, you. Mu was about to go crazy. Before he could finish his sentence, he was severely interrupted by Mu Feng. Shut up. Do you know why your cultivation hasn't improved? It's because your state of mind hasn't transcended the ordinary. When you have my state of mind, you will need to cultivate hard, and your cultivation will naturally increase. Muhi, young hero Qin, what do you think? Mu Feng looked at Qin Feng again, and his expression became calm like a chameleon. Qin Feng sneered in his heart, but pretended to be serious. It's not impossible to join the Celestial Gourd. Mu He and the 6 disciples gritted their teeth. Mu Feng was secretly delighted. Then young hero Qin agrees. How about you come back to the sect with us now? There's no hurry. If you want me to join the Celestial Gourd, you must first acknowledge me as your master. Kowtow and acknowledge me as your master now. Qin Feng smiled. Mu Feng was stunned. When he regained his senses, his expression turned cold. Qin, don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. You're right. I like to drink forfeit. Stop putting on an act. Are you trying to trick me? You're still too inexperienced. Realizing that Qin Feng had been teasing him, Mu Feng could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. He roared, Little ant, I wanted you to tell me the secret of the gate of life. Since you don't want to cooperate, then die. Violent true essence surged from Mu Feng's body. He struck out with his palm, and a huge true essence hand appeared in the air. Qin Feng already knew that this old man was scheming, but he didn't expect him to guess the secret of him going to the Mountain of Life. The matter of the Mountain of Life was very important. Once the news spread, Qin Feng would be chased to the ends of the earth by countless cultivators. Boom! However, before Mu Feng struck out, Qin Feng had already prepared himself. Several silver lights flashed and brought about a violent sound. The bodies of the 6 Celestial Gourd disciples that surrounded Qin Feng exploded. They didn't even understand the situation before they died. The dragon-trembling spear killed 6 venerable, true spirit masters in one strike. However, Qin Feng felt that it was strenuous for him to even look at the disciples. His hand didn't stop as he stabbed the spear at the stunned Mu He. The silver light shot out like a rain of arrows into the sky. By the time Mu He woke up, his body had already been enveloped by the explosion of true essence. He immediately took out a defensive treasure and put on a defensive armor, but the violent explosion sounded out one after another in his ears. The spear light seemed to be invincible, easily breaking through all the obstacles and finally breaking through his body. You dare! Mu Feng roared angrily, but it was too late. The ferocious true essence collided with Mu He's body. His body instantly exploded into pieces. Even the 4 clones that were fleeing in panic couldn't escape and were scattered by the aftermath of the explosion. Qin Feng killed 7 people with one strike, including an Annihility God Stage Level 4 Venerable True Spirit Master. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. When Qin Feng's spear landed on Mu He's head, the true essence hand that Mu Feng had created also landed on the forest. The trees within 100 meters radius collapsed, creating a huge crater. Qin Feng didn't have time to dodge and was slammed into the deep crater. Mu Feng looked at the scene of blood flowing like a river. He couldn't even see the figures of his junior brother and the 6 disciples anymore. He was instantly enraged and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. And with the surname Qin, this old man wants you to die a horrible death. The gigantic palm print floated into the air once again, like a meteorite falling rapidly into the pit. The palm print rapidly expanded as it fell, eventually covering the entire pit, like a huge cloud falling down. True essence shot out in all directions. The power of a body condensation stage powerhouse exceeded Qin Feng's expectations. This was a completely different concept from a nihility god stage cultivator. The true essence became incomparably pure, and the attack it formed was almost tangible. The hidden power seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and earth. Everywhere it went, an aura of death rose. Just as the true essence hand was about to fall, numerous black lights shot out from the cracks. There were originally only a few black lights, but they quickly broke through the true essence hand print and formed thousands of black lights that soared into the sky. The black lights contained a strange magnetic field that instantly froze the surrounding air. The rapidly falling palm print finally stopped and floated above the crater, forming a rare and spectacular scene. You've comprehended the realm? How is this possible? Mu Feng's eyes were filled with shock. He even forgot about the attack in his hand. Qin Feng rushed out of the crater on his flying sword and floated above the true essence hand. His clothes were tattered and his face was dirty. He looked extremely miserable, but his black eyes shot out a bright light that gave people an oppressive feeling that was hard to look directly at. Your Celestial Gourd sect is a 6-star sect in the South Flat Continent, but you secretly raise spirit insects. Not only do you buy cauldrons to feed the spirit insects, but you also release information for cultivators to explore the 10,000 Insect Valley. In fact, you're using them as food for the spirit insects. How shameless! When Qin Feng first met Mu He at the dominating cauldron trading company, he had some guesses. However, these were just his guesses and had not been confirmed. After saying this, Mu Feng's expression changed drastically and his voice was about to freeze. How do you know the secret of the Celestial Gourd sect? Qin Feng realized that his guesses were all true. This fact shocked him. He understood many things now. No wonder there was a rumor that there was a level 9 cordyceps in the 1,000 Insect Valley. The last time he went deep into the 1,000 Insect Valley and even fell into the 1,000 Lotus Lake, he couldn't find a trace of the cordyceps. This news was obviously fake. As a 6-star sect in the South Flat Continent, the Celestial Gourd sect actually had such great ambitions to secretly raise spirit insects. Their goal was most likely to become a 7-star sect or even dominate the entire South Flat Continent. 2,000 years ago, the Divine Supreme continent suffered from the insect calamity. The entire continent was almost dominated by spirit insects. Yet, your Celestial Gourd still dare to raise spirit insects. Aren't you afraid that the insect calamity will happen again? Qin Feng said angrily. Mu Feng laughed. Haha, what does the insect calamity have to do with the Celestial Gourd? If the Divine Supreme continent is really occupied by spirit insects one day, it's because the human cultivators are useless. Don't push the blame to the Celestial Gourd. Since you know the secret of the Celestial Gourd, I can't let you live. Don't think that you can escape death just because you've comprehended the realm. I'll let you see the true power of the body condensation realm. After saying that, a violent magnetic field was formed. The black radiance around Qin Feng's body dissipated quickly and was replaced by a white radiance. A loud sound exploded in the forest. Mu Feng's true essence hand floated in the air for a long time before falling again, instantly raising a cloud of dust. Chapter 1981. Qin Feng's expression turned serious. He realized that Mu Feng had also comprehended his realm and that it had reached the major success stage. There were even signs of it touching the stage. However, Qin Feng had seen a real stage before, so he was sure that Mu Feng hadn't formed it yet. Although it was similar to a stage, the difference in power was like heaven and earth. When the white light completely filled the forest, Qin Feng's domain completely disappeared. Originally, with his divine sense, he could control every leaf, every blade of grass, and even the flow of air. But now, he couldn't feel anything at all. A mere true spirit cultivator dares to compete with a body condensation realm? What a joke. When his own realm swallowed Qin Feng's realm, Mu Feng revealed an arrogant smile. He wasn't in a hurry to kill Qin Feng and said, to be able to comprehend a realm at the true spirit realm, and even to the minor success stage, you could be considered the first person in the South Flat Continent. It can be seen that your path of cultivation is boundless. You must have entered the gate of life. Quickly hand over the treasures inside, and this old man might spare your dog life if I'm in a good mood. Qin Feng was anxious. He tried to break Mu Feng's realm, but was powerless. Mu Feng was a body condensation realm cultivator, after all. Whether it was his comprehension of the realm or the strength of his true essence, it far surpassed Qin Feng. Qin Feng even felt some regret. He blamed himself for being too rash, challenging a body condensation realm level 2 expert at Hollow God realm level 3. But it was too late to say anything now. Luckily, Qin Feng found that although he couldn't break Mu Feng's realm, he could still form a small space of his own. However, that space was pitifully small and could only cover a 1-meter radius around him. But this was already enough for him to rejoice. At least he could still maintain his freedom in Mu Feng's realm. I have indeed entered the gate of life. There are many treasures inside. Not only are there 4 spirit essence ponds, there are also 1,000 spirit crystals and even a tree of life. Qin Feng knew that either he or Mu Feng would die today, so there was no need to hide the secret of the mountain of life. Elder Mu Feng's eyes flickered with ecstasy. So the rumors are true. There really is a tree of life on the mountain of life. He knew the tree of life very well. It was one of the 10 great immortal herbs of the divine continent. Rumor had it that the tree of life could purify one's mind and improve one's perception. No wonder that aunt's surname Qin had such a high cultivation at such a young age. He had actually obtained the tree of life. Quickly hand over the tree of life and the spirit essence pond. Mu Feng could not contain his excitement. Qin Feng sneered in his heart. How could he hand over the tree of life? The reason why he revealed the secret of the tree of life was mainly to destroy Mu Feng's mental state. Qin Feng was still not satisfied with the current results. He continued to provoke the other party. Not only is there a tree of life and a spirit marrow pond on the mountain of life, but there are also 3 spirit veins. Mu Feng's eyes emitted a green light, and his breathing began to quicken. There are also thousands of supreme great spirit stones and countless high-level spirit herbs. Oh, right. I still have more than 1,000 soul crystals, hundreds of millions of high-grade spirit stones, countless spirit weapons, more than a dozen true weapons. Mu Feng's palms began to sweat. He was a dignified, great elder of a 6-star sect, a mighty body condensation realm expert, but he wasn't as wealthy as Qin Feng. He somewhat doubted the veracity of Qin Feng's words. However, even if Qin Feng was lying, at least half of it was true. Just half of the resources that Qin Feng had just mentioned was enough to make Mu Feng go crazy. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and hand over the treasures. I promise to let you go. Mu Feng was impatient. Qin Feng smiled and said, I can give you the treasures, but you have to acknowledge me as your master first. Kowtow 3 times and call me master. I will immediately give you the treasures. Mu Feng immediately became furious. Stinking brat, you still dare to be so arrogant when you're about to die. At most, I will kill you first. In the end, those treasures will still be mine. A sharp cry came from the air. It was neither the cry of a sword nor the wind of a blade. Mu Feng didn't seem to be using any techniques. His white robe, however, was bulging as if a blower were hidden there. Countless spiritual bugs flew out of his sleeves and his neckline. They were so dense that they looked like a burning cloud. Qin Feng immediately recognized these spiritual insects. They were the fire spiritual insects he had seen in the deep cave of the 1,000 Insect Valley. This kind of spiritual insect was ranked 58th on the divine continent. Its body was fiery red, and its body released scorching energy. After the fire spirit insects appeared, they didn't attack. However, when Mu Feng made a strange sound, the fire spirit insects seemed to have received an order and rushed forward. Mu Feng was still there. The air in the white light stopped flowing. The speed of the fire spirit insects was even faster. In the blink of an eye, they flew in front of Qin Feng. Whoosh! A piece of deep blue flame suddenly rose into the air like a sunflower petal. The moment the flame touched the fire spirit worm, a crackling sound that sounded like frying beans rang out. The fire spirit insects instantly fell to the ground. Their bodies were burnt black. A strong, burnt smell floated in the forest, making people feel suffocated. The smile on Mu Feng's face froze. He didn't even have time to feel sorry for the spirit insects he had raised for many years. He stared at the blue flame floating in the air in shock and shouted, "This is the heavenly fire spirit sunflower? It really is the spirit sunflower flame that is ranked 20th in the divine continent. Isn't it just the heavenly fire spirit sunflower? Why are you so excited? I still have several types of heavenly fire. As long as you acknowledge me as your master, I will give them to you. How about it?" Qin Feng pretended to be relaxed. Mu Feng didn't even have time to be angry with Qin Feng. At this moment, he was extremely depressed. Even a body condensation realm expert like him didn't have the opportunity to encounter a heavenly fire. Who would have thought that Qin Feng, a mere true spirit realm cultivator, would have so many fortuitous encounters? Not only did he open the door of life, he even had a heavenly fire in his hands. Ha! The tree of life, the spirit marrow pond, and the heavenly fire. These are all mine. You could die now. Mu Feng didn't care about the fact that the fire spirit insects were instantly burned by the heavenly fire. As he laughed maniacally, his white robe swelled up again, and new spirit insects flew out. They were like drops of blood, and when they gathered together, they formed a spectacular river of blood. Bloodthirsty insects? Qin Feng frowned. He had seen this kind of spirit insect before. It was the bloodthirsty insects hidden at the bottom of the Thousand Lotus Lake in the Thousand Insect Valley. At that time, many cultivators gathered around the myriad lotus lake, trying to steal a 9-leaf fire spirit lotus at the center of the lake. But suddenly, countless bloodthirsty bugs flew out of the bottom of the lake and devoured a large number of cultivators. Even many hollow spirit realm cultivators died. Even the cauldron-filling state Grand Elder of Time Moon Mountain, Xia Zhong, fled in panic. At that time, Qin Feng couldn't use the heavenly fire to deal with the bloodthirsty insects and almost lost his life in the Thousand Lotus Lake. In the end, he had to release the hunting turtles to survive. As these thoughts flashed through his mind, tens of thousands of bloodthirsty insects had already surrounded Qin Feng. When those spirit insects flew, it was like a flowing blood vessel. The scene was extremely strange. Ha! My bloodthirsty insects haven't drunk human blood for a long time, especially the blood of a peak true spirit cultivator like you. Today, I will let them eat their fill. Mu Feng laughed crazily, but halfway through his laughter, his expression suddenly froze. His old eyes were filled with horror as he looked at the strange scene in the sky in disbelief. He didn't know when a small spirit insect had appeared, but it was definitely not the fire spirit insect or the bloodthirsty insects he raised. It didn't seem to be a spirit insect at all. It was only the size of an earthworm, and its body was emitting a dazzling golden light. It was clearly only the size of a pinky, but it opened its mouth and swallowed the bloodthirsty insects like a vacuum cleaner. Quang, 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 quang. The sound of the hunting turtles eating was very loud, like the sound of an excavator. The tens of thousands of bloodthirsty insects disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye, and some of the spirit insect that hadn't been swallowed began to flee in panic. What the hell is this? Why have I never seen it before? Mu Feng's eyes almost fell to the ground. Qin Feng looked at the scene of the hunting turtles crazily swallowing the spirit insects and felt refreshed in his heart. A moment later, he found that because of the hunting turtle's devouring effect, even the magnetic field of Mu Feng's domain had become chaotic and the binding effect was rapidly weakening. Old fart, release whatever spirit insects you have. My little pet has just started warming up, Qin Feng shouted. Mu Feng almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Those spirit insects were treasures that he had painstakingly raised, and each of them was extremely precious. Now, thousands of fire spirit insects have been burned to death by Qin Feng's heavenly fire, and tens of thousands of bloodthirsty insects have been swallowed by an unknown thing. His heart was dripping blood crazily. What kind of spirit insect is that? Mu Feng didn't directly make a move. He was full of curiosity about the hunting turtles. Who said the hunting turtles are spirit insects? It's an immortal beast. The hunting turtles were not immortal beasts. They were rank 9-star beasts in the Hedonist sovereign system. However, it was not easy to explain things like the system and star beasts to Mu Feng. He was afraid that the other party wouldn't understand. Qin Feng simply defined the hunting turtles as immortal beasts. He was not exaggerating. He even guessed that when the hunting turtles evolved to the peak, they would be even more ferocious and powerful than real immortal beasts. Immortal beast? Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Mu Feng clearly didn't believe it. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Go to hell in peace. Qin Feng let out a low roar. His body suddenly shot into the void, escaping from the boundary created by Mu Feng. As the boundary fell, a black light burst out, enveloping a large area of the forest in darkness. Qin Feng immediately took out the 100-mile light sniper and pulled the trigger. A sea of lightning arrived. Whoosh! The sky above the black camp was cut open by a bolt of purple lightning. The light was dazzling. Then, dozens of lightning bolts as thick as a person's waist appeared and bombarded the forest. The violent aura seemed like it was going to destroy the earth. How did you do it? What kind of lightning is this? Mu Feng was once again stunned by Qin Feng's methods. How could this be a lightning attack that an ordinary true spirit cultivator could trigger? Even a cultivator with lightning spiritual roots couldn't do it. Looking at the sea of lightning that filled the sky, it was comparable to a void god realm lightning tribulation. In just a moment of being stunned, several lightning bolts had already exploded on Mu Feng's body. Such a fierce lightning bolt could even kill a true spirit cultivator and heavily injure a void god. However, when it struck Mu Feng's body, it only caused some superficial wounds. P.S. 3 chapters for the monthly votes. Chapter 1982. Mu Feng was stunned for a moment before he suddenly laughed wildly. Haha, what bullshit lightning strike. It looks fierce but useless. I advise you not to resist pointlessly. As long as you obediently hand over the treasure, I can give you a quick death. Qin Feng didn't know how many powerful cultivators he had killed with the power of the lightning tribulation, but he realized that the current power of the lightning tribulation was far from enough to kill a body condensation state supreme being. However, even if the lightning tribulation didn't threaten Mu Feng's life, it could still injure him. As for Mu Feng's current indifference, he was just putting up a strong front. Since you don't fear the lightning, then I'll turn the lightning into a sea. Let's see how long you can last. Qin Feng roared. It was as if a large bell fell from the sky and stood in front of him. The heaven bell's mouth faced towards Mu Feng. Before he could react, tens of waist-thick lightning bolts shot out. They instantly crisscrossed in the air and enveloped the entire area in a sea of lightning. Crackle. The lightning bolts, strengthened by the heaven bell, were extremely ferocious and let out a loud sound that tore through the sky. Mu Feng instantly sensed that something was wrong and stepped into the air to escape. However, the sea of lightning seemed to be endless, and new lightning bolts kept falling, blocking his path of retreat. With a muffled bang, a lightning bolt tore through the sky and struck Mu Feng's head, blasting him to the ground. He landed right in the center of the sea of lightning. The rumbling of thunder was deafening and dazzling lightning bolts kept falling. Even if Mu Feng wanted to escape, his body was exploding and he completely lost control. Qin Feng would not let go of any chance to kill him and immediately rushed over on his flying sword. He unleashed all of his trump cards in an instant. While he was still in midair, he struck out several palms, and the heavenly spirit sunflower flame in the shape of a single petal dyed half the sky blue. Following that, thousands of silver spear projections descended, rumble, The center of the sea of lightning exploded, and it looked like the end of the world. Blade light, sword shadows, heavenly fire, all of them exploded in that area. After a series of fierce attacks, Qin Feng immediately used the soul returning technique. At the same time, he secretly released the hunting pincer, planning to give Mu Feng a fatal blow. After an intense battle, Qin Feng realized that with his current strength, it would be difficult for him to kill a body condensation state supreme being. If he used it with the hunting pincer, his chances of winning would greatly increase. Under the ferocious sea of thunder and Qin Feng's continuous attacks, Mu Feng had long been overwhelmed. Right now, he only wanted to escape from the sea of thunder as soon as possible and did not notice the hunting turtles approaching. And with the surname Qin, if it weren't for that old bastard Xian Hai injuring me in the city, who do you think you are? Mu Feng roared as he fled. It could be seen that his heart was filled with anger. Only then did Qin Feng wake up. No wonder Mu Feng's true essence was consumed so quickly. He had only stayed in the Thunder Sea for half an incense stick of time, yet he was like a lamp that had run out of oil. It turned out that he had already suffered internal injuries. With Qin Feng's intelligence, he immediately understood why Xian Hai had attacked. Xian Hai didn't attack just because Mu Feng had broken the rules of the 80-kilometer city. The main reason was that he had long known that Mu Feng wanted to kill him. By injuring Mu Feng, it was obvious that he had secretly helped him. After figuring out this series of relationships, Qin Feng could not help but sigh. These powerful seniors of the divine continent not only had heaven-defying cultivation, but their shrewdness was even more astounding. At this time, Mu Feng was already making a last-ditch struggle. Blood kept spurting out of his mouth, and his body was charred black. He no longer had the demeanor of an expert from before. Grandson with the surname Qin, even if this old man dies today, I will drag you down with me. A roar that even overshadowed the rolling thunder rang out. Fierce winds surged around Mu Feng's body, and raging flames appeared under his skin. He was actually burning his blood essence. This was a method that would cause both sides to suffer. Cultivators could instantly increase their strength by burning their blood essence, but the price was extremely high. When their blood essence was burned out, their lifespan would also come to an end. Mu Feng completely burned his blood essence without leaving a path of retreat. His entire body was on fire, and at this time, he was like a flaming man flying out of the sea of thunder. The lightning was still fiercely bombarding his body, but it did not affect him at all. His speed did not even slow down, and as soon as he rushed to the sky where Qin Feng was floating, he slammed his palms down. Bang, 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 bang. Each palm raised a large hand of true essence, bringing with it a loud sound of breaking the wind. These large hands of true essence were still burning, and it was as spectacular as the appearance of Buddha's palm. When the 5 palm prints overlapped, covering half of the sky, it was like a black cloud falling from the top of Qin Feng's head. If you want to die, then die by yourself. This old man hasn't lived enough yet. Qin Feng cursed and immediately took out his imprisonment and slashed down with his saber. Black light shot out in all directions, and the surrounding airflow instantly froze. The rapidly falling palm print floated in the air, like a frozen scene of dark clouds. Your realm can't even withstand a single blow. Break for me. Mu Feng was determined to perish together with Qin Feng. The flames on his body rose once again, and when his blood essence burned, it made a crackling sound like frying beans. Just listening to it made people's hair stand on end. Soon, a dazzling white light fell from the sky. Wherever it went, the black light cast by the imprisonment was swallowed and disappeared, and the realm formed by Qin Feng also quickly weakened and faded away. Seeing that the palm print was about to fall to the ground again, Qin Feng stood in the air motionlessly. His divine sense swept towards the hunting pincer, and all his hopes were placed on this little guy. The hunting pincer seemed to be aware of the crisis its master was in at the moment. After lurking for a long time, it launched its first attack. With a leap, it turned into a black shadow and drilled into Mu Feng's body. A few seconds later, Mu Feng's expression changed greatly, and his attack suddenly stopped. He glared at Qin Fun and roared, "You treacherous child! You dare to plot against this old man!" As he cursed, he urged his true essence to try to force the hunting pincer out. However, the hunting pincer was so fast that he couldn't accurately capture it. Qin Fun's realm expanded again, covering half of the woodland. Mu Feng's old eyes were about to explode, and his body constantly emitted muffled sounds. It wasn't the sound of burning blood essence, but the sound of true essence exploding. The explosion lasted for an incense stick of time, and Mu Feng finally fell straight down. This guy was able to persist for so long under the bombardment of the Sea of Thunder and the hunting pincers devouring. It was completely beyond Qin Fun's expectations. Qin Fun fell to the ground and sat on the ground, gasping for breath. This battle had exhausted him, and he had almost died. He thought that Mu Feng was already dead, but a ball of light shot out from his body. The ball of light seemed to be frightened and quickly fled. Quang, 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 quang. Without waiting for Qin Fun's attack, the hunting pincer had already caught up and swallowed the ball of light. Mu Feng's scream came from the ball of light, "Don't eat me. Spare my life." The hunting pincer didn't care about Mu Feng's begging for mercy. It quickly swallowed the ball of light, and then flew to Qin Fun's shoulder, seemingly digesting it. This was the first time Qin Fun saw the hunting pincer's stomach swollen. It was as big as a ball, and it seemed to have indigestion. However, when this little guy swallowed tens of thousands of spirit insects, he didn't see it become like this. Chapter 1983. Master, the hunting turtle swallowed Mu Feng's primordial spirit. Little Pig said. Qin Feng's eyes widened. Though he hadn't formed a primordial spirit yet, he knew that it was the new body formed when the Hollow God realm broke through to the body condensation state. Once a cultivator had a primordial spirit, they would be immortal. As long as the primordial spirit was still there, they could even take over the bodies of low-level cultivators. The primordial spirit could be said to be the condensation of a body condensation realm cultivator's lifetime cultivation. It contained an incomparably violent, true essence. Even Qin Feng couldn't absorb this kind of powerful true essence all at once. As a result, the hunting pincer directly swallowed Mu Feng's primordial spirit into its stomach. However, the hunting turtle didn't seem to be feeling well. Its swollen like a rubber ball made a rumbling noise. It seemed like the sound of true yuan exploding. Master, the hunting turtle, said it's going to sleep for a while. Little Pig translated. Qin Feng realized that this little guy probably needed time to digest Mu Feng's primordial spirit. Mu Feng was, after all, a body condensation state. One could imagine how powerful his lifetime cultivation was. How long is it going to sleep for? That's hard to say. It could be a month, a year, or even 8 to 10 years. Little Pig said. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. If the hunting turtle was going to sleep for 10 years, then it might as well not wake up after eating a few stabilizing pills. He sat on the ground and recuperated. Qin Feng recovered 30% of his strength. He got up and walked to the grassland where Mu died. He picked up the 3 storage rings on the ground. When he thought about how a body condensation state died, just like that, he couldn't help but be shocked. Mu Feng was indeed a body condensation state. The 3 storage rings were filled with abundant cultivation resources. One of the rings was used to store spirit stones. There were at least 200 million high-grade spirit stones, hundreds of supreme-grade spirit stones, and tens of spirit crystals. The other 2 storage rings were used to store spirit herbs and spirit weapons and some smithing materials. The resources in these 2 rings couldn't be underestimated. Qin Feng had earned a lot this time. Qin Feng didn't continue to look at the 3 storage rings in detail because a group of people walked over. These people were dressed in rags and had unkempt hair. They even had chains on their hands and feet. "Are you the 88 cauldrons?" Qin Feng asked. The crowd was in a state of panic, and they stood dozens of meters away in fear of Qin Feng. A true spirit realm cultivator took 2 steps forward and said, "Senior, we are all cultivation furnaces sold by Dominating Heaven Furnace Trading Company. Originally, We were bought by a mortal gourd sex elder, but since Senior killed him, we belong to you now. These human cauldrons were mostly male. When Qin Feng heard the words, all belong to you, he couldn't help but shiver. You're all free now. Go. Qin Feng sympathized with the fate of these human cauldrons. If he hadn't coincidentally encountered his father who had escaped, he didn't know what kind of situation his father and grandfather would be in. These human cauldrons obviously had their own families, so how could their families not be worried? The group of cultivators was stunned and looked at Qin Feng in astonishment. The Divine Supreme Continent was a place where only the strong were respected. As long as one's strength was low, one's status would be lower than others. Qin Feng had just killed a body condensation realm expert, Muhi, not long ago. It was obvious that his strength was above everyone else. No one expected such a powerful expert to let them go. Senior, are you really willing to let us go? The true spirit realm cultivator's voice trembled. Qin Feng said solemnly, everyone should be equal regardless of their status. My cultivation is just a bit higher than yours temporarily. Who knows if there will be someone more powerful than me among you in the future? I won't use you for cultivation. You can leave at any time. The crowd couldn't believe it. It was their first time seeing such a kind senior like Qin Feng. A few cultivators came back to their senses and left immediately. The other cultivators saw that Qin Feng really didn't stop them, so they also ran away. The true spirit realm cultivator cupped his fists at Qin Feng before he left. Thank you for saving my life, Senior. I am Uduo, a disciple of East Dragon Palace. If Senior goes to East Dragon Palace in the future, you must come find me. Qin Feng didn't expect that the true spirit realm cultivator was a beast cultivator. Although he had already smelled the beast chi in the crowd, it was hard to determine who was the beast cultivator when there were more than 80 people standing together. Qin Feng let out a sigh of relief when he saw the 88 cultivation furnaces leave. Although he didn't know what would happen to these people in the future and whether they would be captured as cultivation furnaces again, he could only help them this much. After sorting out his emotions, Qin Feng continued his journey. He planned to go to Gray Island first to find a treasure map that Aku gave him. If he still couldn't find the treasure in a month, he would go to the Sword Peak to meet up with Xin Hai. The map that Aku gave him was very detailed. It even marked out the interior of the island's 3 major areas. This map was definitely drawn by a cultivator who had been to the 3 major areas of Gray Island and had gone deep into them. The depths of the 3 major areas of Gray Island had long been occupied by beast cultivators and had been designated as forbidden areas. It was clear that this map was an extremely precious resource. After the time it took for 2 incense sticks to burn, Qin Feng officially entered the Gray Island area. In fact, the outer area of Gray Island was only 80 miles away from 80 Mile City, which was how the city got its name. After Qin Feng participated in the auction, he purposely took detours in the wilderness outside of 80 Mile City in order to get rid of his pursuers. Just as he stepped into the Gray Island area, Qin Feng smelled a strong scent of seawater and beast cultivators. Just as he landed his flying sword, 4 black shadows jumped out from behind him. Haha, here comes another ignorant human. Third Prince, this brat is only at Nihility God Realm level 3. Do you plan to kill him yourself, or do you want us to do it for you? Human ant, daring to step into Gray Island area, you are simply courting death. The 4 of them had strange appearances. 3 of them were old fellas with human heads and fish bodies. Their bodies were covered with sharp and sturdy scales. The other young man looked like a human, but his body was covered with seawater mist, and he had a pair of horns on his head. The young man with horns was called the Third Prince. He waved his hand, and a fiery red long spear appeared in his hand. He was about to attack Qin Feng. White Flood Dragon, you are bullying human cultivators again. Stop right now. Before the long spear could attack, another black shadow flew over. This person looked to be in his early 30s, similar to the Third Prince's age. This person had completely transformed into a human's body and appearance. He wore a white robe and had an elegant demonic aura. However, there was a faint demonic aura on his body, revealing his true identity. After this handsome man appeared, The three old fellas' faces turned cold. The horned third prince scolded, "Qi Longxing, it's you again. Are you a beast cultivator or not? Why are you always speaking up for human cultivators?" The handsome man had already landed beside Qin Fun. Qin Fun glanced at him and saw that he was a Nihility God Realm Level 3 beast cultivator. The horned young man was at Nihility God Realm Level 4. This kind of cultivation shocked Qin Fun. After all, the two of them looked to be in their 30s. To be able to reach Nihility God Realm intermediate stage at this age, they were considered top geniuses in the entire South Flat continent. It's not that I always stand on the side of human cultivators. It's that you always find trouble with human cultivators for no reason. You are tarnishing the name of our beast cultivator race. Qi Longxing stood in front of Qin Fun, looking like he wanted to protect him. This action made Qin Fun roll his eyes in secret. Although the third prince was at Nihility God Realm Level 4, Qin Fun was confident that he could kill him instantly. However, Qin Fun didn't act rashly. After all, Green Island was the territory of beast cultivators. It was better for him to keep a low profile. Qi Longxing, you still have the cheek to criticize the third prince? As the 8th son of the island master of North Ring, 3 Islands, you help human cultivators every day. You are the one who has embarrassed our beast cultivator race. If it wasn't for your identity, I would have killed you long ago. Today, the human ant must die. If you dare to stop us, don't blame us for being impolite. The 3 old fellas beside the third prince were enraged. They were the hidden experts. Qin Fun had checked the realms of the 3 old fellas. 2 of them were body condensation realm late stage. He couldn't see through the last one, but he was definitely at Ekiana tripod realm. However, Qi Longxing didn't seem to be afraid of the 3 old fellas. He even scolded them. "Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like this? If my father hears about this, you won't even know how you died." The 3 old fellas' faces were red with anger, but they didn't refute. The white dragon said angrily, "Qi Longxing, do you dare to fight to the death with me?" Qi Longxing hesitated. He obviously knew that the white dragon was at Nihility God Realm Level 4. However, in the end, he still said, "Let's fight." "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" As soon as he accepted the challenge, he immediately transmitted his voice to Qin Fun. "Brother, when the life and death battle starts, take the opportunity to escape. Run towards the direction of the 80-kilometer city. As long as you leave the boundary of Gray Island, those 3 old men won't dare to chase after you." Qin Fun was slightly stunned. He didn't expect the young demonic cultivator to be so kind. He could even guess that the reason why he accepted the White Dragon's challenge was to give him a chance to escape. Because of Qi Longxing's appearance, Qin Fun started to redefine demonic cultivators. He realized that demonic cultivators were the same as human cultivators. There were good and bad people. "You're not his match," Qin Fun said without transmitting his voice. He knew that in front of the 3 old fellas, transmitting his voice was useless. Qi Longxing seemed to have realized this as well. He said, "Just do as I say. This is your only chance to live. If I escape, won't you die here?" Qin Fun couldn't understand Qi Longxing's thoughts. He was a demonic cultivator, but he was willing to sacrifice himself to help human cultivators. "Don't worry about me. I'm the 8th son of the island master of the 3 northern islands. They won't dare to kill me. Otherwise, the 3 northern islands will start a war with the Nanming Temple," Qi Longxing said confidently. Qin Fun had already figured out these people's identities. Qi Longxing was the 8th son of the island master of the 3 northern islands, and the horned third prince was the 3rd son of the Nanming Temple's palace master. Qin Fun didn't know why his luck was so good. He had just stepped into Green Island, and he already met 2 demonic cultivators with such powerful backgrounds. If he wanted to read, he would search for Book Flag. Chapter 1984. Qin Fun suddenly understood why Qi Longxing and Bai Jiao had such heaven-defying cultivations. At first, he suspected that the 2 of them had eaten some kind of beautifying pill. Now, it seemed that they were indeed only 30 years old, or maybe even younger. As the sons of the three leaders of Gray Island, they definitely didn't have to worry about cultivation resources since they were young. Plus, the bloodline of Yao cultivators was naturally stronger than that of human cultivators, so their cultivation speed was naturally fast. When Bai Jiao and the other three heard Qi Longxing's plan, their faces darkened with anger. They knew that this was the entrance to Gray Island. If that human ant did as Qi Longxing said, unless they could kill him instantly, they really wouldn't be able to do anything to him once he escaped from Gray Island. Qi Longxing, you're the scum of the Yao race. Today, I will kill you for the sake of the entire Yao race. Bai Jiao transferred all his anger to Qi Longxing. Qinfen could see the murderous intent in his eyes. He really wanted to kill Qi Longxing. You want to kill me? Be careful that I kill you instead. Qi Longxing didn't back down. Seeing that the two were about to attack, Qinfen suddenly said, Brother Qi, why don't I fight him to the death? Everyone was stunned and looked at Qinfen in astonishment. Before Qi Longxing could come back to his senses and persuade him, Bai Jiao had already raised his head and laughed wildly. Ha ha! You really are a reckless human ant. You dare to challenge me? Do you believe that I can kill you with one spear? Qi Longxing also came back to his senses and immediately advised, Brother, even though we are of the same realm, we Yao cultivators are naturally stronger than you human cultivators. Plus, Bai Jiao has already stepped into Nihility God Realm Level 4 and is being nurtured by Nanming Palace. You are definitely not his opponent. After Qinfen killed Mu Feng not long ago, he didn't intentionally hide his cultivation level anymore. Right now, he was at Nihility God Realm Level 3. Since Brother Qi is willing to stand up for a human cultivator that I don't know, how can I escape alone? Why don't I fight with that guy? Maybe a miracle will happen and I'll be able to kill him. Qinfen pretended to know that he was no match for the White Jiao, and his words moved Qi Longxing greatly. I still don't know your name, brother. I appreciate your kind intentions, but you should leave quickly. We'll meet again if fate wills it. After that, he shouted at Bai Jiao and the other three righteously, See? What's wrong with human cultivators? They are loyal and don't fear death. Let me ask you three old farts. Do you dare to sacrifice your lives for the White Flood Dragon? The three old demon cultivators were speechless. Brother Qi, my name is Qinfen. You could just call me Brother Qin. I won't change my decision. Let me fight that horn monster, Qinfen said. Horn monster? The White Flood Dragon almost vomited blood. He glared at Qinfen and roared, You human ant, I'm going to destroy you. Before he could attack with the Crimson Halberd, Qinfen quickly said, Wait, there are some things I need to confirm before we fight. The White Serpent had no choice but to stop attacking. He could ignore Qinfen, but he couldn't ignore Qi Longxing's existence. You talk too much. Hurry up and say your last words. The White Flood Dragon was extremely impatient. Qinfen said, We're going to fight to the death, right? Nonsense. Can't you ask something more meaningful? The White Flood Dragon scolded. Qinfen didn't care. Since it's a fight to the death, someone will definitely die. If I accidentally kill you, what if those three old farts attack me? Also, you have a high status. If I kill you, what if the Nanming Temple comes to take revenge on me? Qinfen wasn't afraid of the White Flood Dragon. He could kill an opponent of this level in seconds. However, he couldn't ignore the existence of the Nanming Temple. This was one of the three major areas of Gray Island. The White Flood Dragon's three bodyguards had reached the body condensation stage and even the cauldron-filling realm. Who knew what realm the Nanming Temple's leader was at? Ha! You're so funny. You want to kill me? Stop daydreaming. Since I'm going to die in your eyes, then what's the point of this fight to the death? I'll withdraw, Qinfen said indifferently. The White Flood Dragon instantly panicked. If Qinfen didn't fight him, he would definitely run away. Okay, I promise you, if you can kill me, my three bodyguards won't bother you and the Nanming Temple won't hunt you down. But I'll say it again. You want to kill me? Stop daydreaming. Qinfen didn't care about the White Flood Dragon's arrogant attitude. What he wanted was this guy's promise. Brother Qi, then how about you be the notary? Qi Longxing revealed a difficult expression. It wasn't because of the notary, but because he didn't think Qin Feng would win. In his opinion, if Qin Feng accepted the challenge, he would definitely die. Brother Qin, I advise you to leave this place. Although you're at the Hollow God Realm Level 3 at such a young age and must be a top genius among human cultivators, Grey Island is the territory of demon cultivators. Moreover, the geniuses of demon cultivators are definitely more outstanding than you humans. Don't come here in the future. I appreciate Brother Chi's good intentions, but I won't back down. Please be the notary, Brother Chi. Qin Feng's expression was firm. Qi Longxing saw that Qin Feng had made up his mind and didn't continue to persuade him. He waved his hand and took out a crystal ball the size of a basketball. White Flood Dragon, repeat the promise you made just now, Qi Longxing said to the White Flood Dragon. The White Flood Dragon's face paled when he saw the crystal ball. This was a recording crystal unique to the fallen god Sea. It could record images and sounds. I, Bai Jiao, have always been a man of my words. Is there a need for you to take out this kind of lousy thing? If that human ant can kill me, I guarantee that my 3 protectors will not pursue his responsibility, and our Nanming Palace will not cause trouble for him. Qi Longxing nodded at Qin Feng and put away the crystal ball. He even reminded Qin Feng, Brother Qin, be careful. If you really can't beat him, run away immediately. Since the agreement was made, the White Flood Dragon could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. He stabbed his fiery red halberd towards Qin Feng. Boom! The halberd brought with it a sea of flames as it flew towards Qin Feng. The fire was so ferocious that it burned the surrounding air into an illusion. However, Qin Feng didn't retreat in the face of such a fierce beast fire. He even took a step forward, and his body was submerged in the sea of fire. The two's attacks came too abruptly. When Qi Longxing regained his senses, he immediately panicked and shouted at the sea of fire, Brother Qin, run! That's the White Serpent's own beast fire. You won't be able to block it. After he shouted, he felt despair. He saw Qin Feng rush into the sea of fire. He was dead for sure. The 3 old men who followed the White Flood Dragon smiled playfully. They thought that Qin Feng was at least at Hollow God Realm Level 3. Even if he was killed by the White Flood Dragon 3rd Prince, it would take him some time. They didn't expect him to be so weak. Human cultivators were indeed useless. However, their excitement didn't last for long. The smiles on their faces froze. A violent explosion came from a sea of fire, followed by a scream. However, the scream didn't come from Qin Feng. It was clearly the White Flood Dragon's roar. The scream was so miserable that it made people's hair stand on end. The cauldron-filling stage beast cultivator quickly woke up and rushed into the sea of fire. How dare you! He let out a strange cry, and then another loud explosion came from the sea of fire. Qin Feng suddenly leaped out from the sea of fire and landed beside Qi Longxing. The old man in the filling cauldron realm also flew over, his eyes bloodshot. Brother Vashi, what's going on? The other 2 body condensation state elders realized that something was wrong and immediately rushed over to Qin Feng. Vashi's true body floated in the air. As his aura rose, his body expanded until he turned into a green flood dragon. He opened his mouth as if he was going to swallow half the sky. Ayaya, this damn human ant, he actually killed the 3rd prince. What? The 2 body condensation state elders were shocked. They immediately looked towards the sea of fire. The flames had dissipated and only a piece of charred land was left. There wasn't even a speck of dust on the ground. Where's the 3rd prince? Was he really killed by that ant? The 2 seemed to be muttering to themselves. Not only the 3 of them, even Qi Longxing was stunned. Not long ago, he was still worried about Qin Feng's safety. Never would he have thought that Qin Feng would be able to kill the Hollow God Realm Level 4 White Flood Dragon. Vashi, what do you want? Qi Longxing quickly came to his senses and immediately stood in front of Qin Feng. Vashi's Jinqi was so strong that he revealed his true form. His roar shook the earth, mountains, and rivers. Qi Longxing, get out of my way, or I'll kill you as well. Facing a cauldron-filling stage expert, Qi Longxing instantly lost his confidence. However, He didn't back down. He pretended to be calm and shouted at the sky, "Vashi, don't think that you're so great just because you're at the cauldron-filling stage. There are countless cauldron-filling stage experts in the three islands. My father is a disaster transformation state Snake King. Aren't you afraid of their revenge?" Vashi's intimidating aura faded a lot. It was obvious that she was shocked by Qi Longxing's words. Even Qin Feng was shocked. The power of Green Island was much stronger than he imagined. The island masters of the three islands were all disaster transformation state experts. From this, it could be seen that the leaders of Nanming Palace and East Dragon Palace weren't weak either. Don't use the Black Snake King to scare me. That human ant dared to kill the third prince. Today I must kill him. If you dare to stop me, even if I accidentally kill you, I believe the Black Snake King can't do anything to me. Qi Longxing was extremely nervous. He knew that Qin Fen had created a huge disaster. Just as Vashizan had said, now that the third prince was dead, if he still insisted on protecting Qin Fen, even if he was killed by Vashizan, it would be in vain. However, at this critical moment, Qi Longxing's eyes lit up, and he immediately took out the crystal ball. At this moment, he finally understood Qin Feng's intentions. No wonder Qin Feng made the White Flood Dragon promise that he wouldn't be held responsible if he died. Qin Feng had already predicted that the White Flood Dragon would die. For a moment, Qi Longxing couldn't understand. Qin Feng was only a Hollow God Realm level 3 human cultivator. How did he have the confidence to kill the Hollow God Realm level 4 White Flood Dragon? Even Qi Longxing didn't have this confidence. Chapter 1985. Vashi, you can't kill Qin Fen. White Serpent had a battle of life and death with him. Life and death are up to fate. I still have the promise White Serpent made before the battle. Do you want to see it again? Qi Longxing immediately shouted. Vashi's face darkened. He didn't want to see the scene recorded on the crystal ball. He wanted to smash the crystal ball, but he knew it was useless even if he did. This crystal was similar to human cultivators' flying swords. Not only did it have the ability to record information, it could also be transmitted to other beast cultivators of the same race. As the 8th son of the Black Serpent King, the recording crystal Qi Longxing used was even more advanced. The scene he recorded could be transmitted to the crystal balls of the Black Serpent King and the protectors of the 3 northern islands. If Vashi killed him now, he would immediately be discovered by the forces of the 3 northern islands. Vashi, White Serpent is already dead and can't be revived. I advise you to quickly return to Nanming Palace and beg for forgiveness. Maybe you'll be treated leniently by the White Serpent King. Staying here is just a waste of time. Seeing that Vashi didn't make a move, Qi Longxing realized that he was afraid. Vashi spat out a mouthful of blood. He was so angry that he vomited blood. It was as if blood rain fell from the sky. The air was filled with the fishy smell of seawater. Vashi floated in the sky and looked deeply at Qin Fen before turning into a green light and disappearing into the distance. After he left, the other 2 body condensation state tertiary stage elders also left. Qi Longxing let out a long sigh of relief and sat down on the ground like a deflated balloon. Phew, I was scared to death. Brother Qin, it can be said that we've escaped with our lives. Not only was Qi Longxing scared, but Qin Fen was also uneasy. The other party was a cauldron-filling state and 2 body condensation state tertiary stage beast cultivators. Any one of them could kill him instantly. Brother Qi, I really have to thank you this time. Qin Fen cupped his fists. Qi Longxing sat on the ground, a nonchalant expression on his face as he waved his hand and said, Brother Qin, you're being too courteous. We've gone through life and death together, so we can be considered good brothers from now on. That's right, Brother Qin. Do you think my name is cool? Qi Long's thoughts changed too quickly for Qin Feng to keep up. What do you mean, Brother Qi? That's my name. We monster cultivators have 2 names. One is the name of a monster beast, and the other is the name of a human cultivator. Since the Divine Supreme Continent is dominated by human cultivators, monster cultivators usually use the name of a human cultivator. Qin Fen understood, and black lines appeared on his forehead. He did not dare to comment on the human name Qi Longxing. It's pretty good. Qin Feng didn't want to hurt the other party's feelings. Qi Longxing immediately looked excited and shouted excitedly, "Really? I was the one who came up with this name. In the past, my father gave me the name Chun Xianfeng. I thought it was very unpleasant, so I changed it to Qi Longxing. I knew that this name was more in line with the aesthetics of you human cultivators." Qin Feng. Qi Longxing was very happy and chattered on. "Actually, if you want to talk about the coolest name among the Yao cultivators, I think it's still that Vashan who was angered to the point of vomiting blood just now. His name is really nice. It's a pity he took it first." Qin Feng. "Brother Qin, why aren't you saying anything?" Qi Longxing finally realized that Qin Feng had not replied to him for a long time. What's your monster beast name?" Qin Feng was curious. "It's very long. I almost forgot." Qi Longxing looked like he was trying hard to remember. After a while, he continued, "Li Sisi Guwa Taijumi Yubo. All right, I got it." Qin Feng rolled his eyes. Qi Longxing said, "You got it? I've only said less than 1/10 of it." Qin Feng. "In that case, your human name is really nice." Qin Feng could not express what he was feeling at that moment. Qi Longxing finally avoided the topic of names, which made Qin Feng heave a long sigh of relief. This eighth son of the Black Snake King was definitely a chatterbox. He had just met Qin Feng, but he already had endless things to say. Qin Feng did not interrupt him and quietly listened to him talk about his life experiences. It turned out that when Qi Longxing was 5 years old, he was cultivating by the sea one day. He was chased by other demon cultivators and almost lost his life at a young age. In the end, a human cultivator appeared and saved him. This incident had a great impact on Qi Longxing, causing him to develop a good impression of human cultivators from a young age. From then on, he started to make friends with human cultivators and help each other out. "Brother Qin, did you have any demon cultivator friend before me?" Qi Longxing suddenly became serious. Qin Feng nodded and said, "I have many demon cultivator friends. We're very close. Actually, there are good and bad people among you beasts. Just like us human cultivators, there are also good and bad people." Qi Longxing was extremely excited, as if he had found a confidant. "Brother Qin, you're too kind. I really regret not having met you earlier. I've told this to the other Yao cultivators long ago, but not only did they not agree with me, they even called me a traitor and scum of the Yao cultivator race. I really don't understand. Why can't human cultivators and demon cultivators coexist peacefully? Could it be that we were born enemies?" When Qi Longxing became excited, he would raise his arms and shout loudly. His hot-blooded and high-spirited emotions infected Qin Feng. "Brother Qi, you're right. They're just too narrow-minded and can't reach your height." Qin Feng encouraged him. Qi Longxing nodded vigorously. "All right, Brother Qin, do you have a dream?" Qin Feng was stunned. Ever since he came to the Divine Continent, no one had asked him this question. "I have a dream. I hope to return to my hometown as soon as possible." The scenery of Acropolis City with green mountains and clear waters appeared in Qin Feng's mind. "I also have a dream. My dream is to lead the beast race and reach a treaty of peaceful coexistence with human cultivators." Qi Longxing's eyes shone brightly. His unswerving conviction touched Qin Feng's heart. He patted Qi Longxing's shoulder and said, "I believe that one day you'll achieve your dream." The two youths, who were not even 30 years old, stood at the entrance of Tsang Island and talked. Their dreams were extremely grand, and in the eyes of others, they were impossible. Sometimes dreams were like this. They weren't meant to be realized. Instead, they were meant to motivate oneself to move forward. "Brother Qin, it's getting late. You should leave Tsang Island," Qi Longxing suddenly said. Qin Feng understood what he was thinking. Even though the white Jiao Third Prince promised that Nanming Temple wouldn't trouble him before he died, only a fool would believe his words. However, since he had come to Tsang Island, Qin Feng wouldn't retreat because of this little threat. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to mingle in the Divine Continent anymore. "I have important matters to attend to on Tsang Island. I can't leave for now. This time, I've implicated Brother Qi. We'll meet again someday. Qin Feng cupped his fists and prepared to leave. Qi Longxing immediately caught up to him and said, Brother Qin, you're not treating me as a friend. I know you're afraid that Nanming Temple will vent their anger on me, but since I dare to help you, I'm not afraid that Nanming Temple will cause trouble for me. Not to mention, I've already formed a grudge with Nanming Temple before this, so this time won't make a difference. Qin Feng's impression of Qi Longxing was getting better and better. This beast cultivator had completely subverted his view of the beast clan. Qi Longxing's character had even surpassed many human cultivators. Brother Qin, don't say any more. Come with me to the 3 Northern Ring Islands. That's my father, the Black Snake King's territory. Other beast cultivators wouldn't dare to mess around there. Qi Longxing pulled Qin Feng away after he finished speaking. The two of them flew towards the depths of Tsang Island. The fishy smell of seawater and beast cultivators in the air became heavier. On the island and the beach, they could see many beast cultivators coming and going. These beast cultivators' strength varied. Some were in human form, while some were half human and half beast. Most of them were in the form of beasts. Along the way, Qi Longxing took the initiative to introduce Tsang Island and the beast cultivators to Qin Feng. Just like what Qin Feng had heard before he arrived, Tsang Island was divided into 3 major areas: 3 Northern Ring Islands, Nanming Temple, and East Dragon Palace. These 3 areas were about the same size, and they each had their own camps. The 3 Northern Ring Islands are ruled by Qi Longxing's father, the Black Snake King. Their family had the orthodox rank 9 Black Snake bloodline. The Nanming Temple was the White Flood Dragon King's territory and had the rank 9 White Flood Dragon bloodline. Lastly, the East Dragon Palace was more mysterious. Normally, it was rare to see beast cultivators from the East Dragon Palace on Tsang Island. However, it was rumored that the leader of the East Dragon Palace had the true dragon bloodline that only appeared in ancient times. Qi Longxing's flying magic treasure was a pinwheel-shaped low-grade true artifact. This kind of flying ship was considered a top-grade treasure in the South Pingzhou continent. However, compared to Qin Feng's flying Cloud All, which was comparable to a high-grade true artifact, it was still lacking. However, Qin Feng didn't take out the flying Cloud All, mainly because he didn't want to attract unnecessary trouble. Moreover, Qi Longxing's flying ship was clearly his trademark. Along the way, they encountered many body condensation and even cauldron-filling realm beasts, but none dared to rob or stop this flying ship. The flying ship flew at top speed for 5 days and 5 nights before reaching the entrance of the 3 Northern Ring Islands. This showed how vast Tsang Island was. As soon as they entered the 3 Northern Ring Islands, Qi Longxing let out a long sigh of relief. Phew, we're finally home. Brother Qin, we're completely safe now. Qin Feng looked down at the sea below him from the sky. He immediately understood how the 3 Northern Ring Islands got their name. This area was formed by a total of 3 giant islands. The islands were connected by a long wooden bridge made of iron chains. Brother Qin, do you see the bridge connecting the 3 islands? It said that it's a bridge that has existed since ancient times and connects the 3 Northern Ring Islands. There's a flight restriction array on the bridge. That array was also passed down from ancient times. In the past, my father found many array masters to break the flight restriction array on the bridge. This way, our clansmen could easily fly across the 3 Northern Ring Islands instead of walking on the bridge. What was the result? Qin Feng was interested in the array on the bridge. If it was really an ancient array, he could go and study it. It would be of great help to improve his array skills. No one in the South Pingzhou continent could break the flight restriction array on the bridge. Even the sect leader of the All-Array sect couldn't do anything. Later on, my father gathered all the Hollow God and above beasts in the clan and tried to break the array on the bridge. However, hundreds of powerful cultivators attacked for 3 days and 3 nights, and the array showed no signs of weakening. Chapter 1986. Qin Feng was stunned by Qi Longxing's words. He had already tried his best to overestimate the overall strength of Grey Island, but he realized that he had still underestimated it. According to Qi Longxing, there were hundreds of void god realm and above cultivators in the 3 northern islands. That meant that the entire Gray Island had at least 1,000. And this was just a conservative estimate. After all, some of the truly powerful cultivators were usually elusive. If such a powerful force suddenly attacked the South Pingzhou continent, it would definitely be a disaster. Qinfen recalled the catastrophe of the Beast Clan that Barefoot Spiritual Master had mentioned. It was said that the Beast Tide had invaded the 4 continents and almost dominated the continent. Qinfen was starting to believe that was true. When he came to his senses again, Qi Longxing had already landed the flying ship. As soon as he got off the flying ship, a strong sea breeze hit his nose. "Brother Qin, we're home. You're safe now." Qi Longxing was extremely excited. It seemed that he valued Qinfen's life more than his own. Qinfen was grateful. He cupped his fists and said, "Thank you for your help, Brother Qi. Otherwise, I'm afraid I would have died at the border of Gray Island. We're already good brothers. Brother Qin, you don't have to be so polite with me." The two of them chatted as they walked toward the bridge. According to Qi Longxing, they had to cross this bridge and go to the cave abode that he and his mother lived in. There was a flight restriction formation on the bridge of the 3 northern islands. Flying immortal tools couldn't pass through. "Yo, isn't this the scum of our Black Snake clan, Qi Longxing? Why did you bring a human ant back?" Qinfen had just walked to the side of the bridge when he heard a mocking voice behind him. He saw Qi Longxing's expression immediately turn cold. He turned around and yelled at the person, "Bourgeois, I don't need you to say anything. Please recognize your identity first." A total of 4 people flew over. The middle-aged man who landed first was Bourgeois. Behind him were 3 older demonic cultivators. As soon as Bourgeois landed, his expression turned cold as if someone had touched his reverse scale. "Qi Longxing, say that again if you dare. Everything I said is the truth. You're just the son of the harem. How can you compare my identity as the son of the main wife?" Qi Longxing didn't back down. Qinfen did not know much about demon cultivators, so he could not understand the conversation between Qi Longxing and Baji at all. It turned out that the leaders of the Yao cultivator clan would have many female cultivator companions. These companions were divided into human women and Yao cultivator women. However, human women had an extremely low status in their clan, and the children they gave birth to also had a low status. Octopus was the offspring of the union between the Black Snake King and a human woman. He was known as the child of the harem. Qi Longxing's mother was a demon cultivator, so he was the son of the main wife. Based on Qi Longxing's personality, who was willing to befriend even human cultivators, he naturally did not care that the Empress was the son of the harem. However, he knew very well how narrow-minded Baji was. Therefore, Qi Longxing did not show the slightest bit of mercy when dealing with such a vicious and cunning person. Every son of the harem would feel inferior because of their status, and Octagon Lee was no exception. At this time, he was so angry that his eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. But in the end, he did not make a move. "Qi Longxing, one day, I will make all of you regret this." Octagon Lee said some strange words. Without waiting for Qi Longxing to speak again, he suddenly looked at Qinfen with a playful expression and said, "Ha! This human cultivator looks a little familiar. Guardians, is this the human ant you're looking for?" The 3 elders behind Octagon Lee locked their divine senses on Qinfen. Immediately, a violent surge of vital essence surged from their bodies. They were actually 3 mighty figures in the mid-stage of the body condensation realm. One of them roared angrily. "It's this human ant who dared to kill the 3rd prince of the Nanming Temple. I want you to die a horrible death." As soon as he finished speaking, a huge vital essence hand floated in the air and descended with an unstoppable momentum. Qi Longxing's expression changed drastically. He actually rushed into the air at the first instant, trying to block the other party's attack. "Stop right now. This is the territory of the 3 northern islands. It's not up to the people of the Nanming Temple to behave atrociously here." Qi Longxing felt that he was instantly surrounded by the aura of death and immediately shouted, The expression of the mighty figure in the body condensation realm who attacked changed, and he hurriedly changed his hand gesture. The originally ferocious palm landed on the empty ground behind Qi Longxing and Qin Fun, blasting a huge pit. Rumble. Loud explosions rang out one after another. It was clear that this palm contained a ferocious, vital essence aura. Qi Longxing heaved a sigh of relief after landing on the ground. He felt that if the other party had been even half a second late, he would have died. Qi Longxing, do you know what you are doing? Octagon Li roared angrily. Qi Longxing's expression became even colder. I still have to ask you, you bastard. What the hell are you doing? As the demonic cultivator race of the three northern islands, you are actually entangled with the forces of the Nanming Temple. You even brought the three body condensation realm experts of the Nanming Temple here. Are you trying to rebel? A hint of panic flashed through Octagon Li's eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. He said, "Don't slander me. The reason I brought the three guardians of the Nanming Temple here is because the human ant beside you killed the third prince of the Nanming Temple not long ago. You still dare to bring such an evil person back to the three northern islands. Aren't you causing trouble for the demonic cultivators of our race? I think you are the one who wants to rebel." The two sons of the Black Snake King quarreled endlessly. Qin Fun and the three old men from the Nanming Temple could only watch. The palm just now didn't kill Qin Fun instantly, so the three guardians of the Nanming Temple didn't dare to act rashly anymore. This was the territory of the three northern islands. They had already broken the rules by trespassing. Just as the three of them were worried, several black shadows flew over from the distance. Those black shadows were still far away in the sky, but a few seconds later, they had already appeared above Qin Fun and the others' heads. 5 bright light shadows floated like 5 dazzling suns. Qin Fun immediately used his divine sense to scan them. He found that 3 of them had stepped into the late stage of the body condensation realm. The other 2 had strong auras, but he couldn't tell what they were. He estimated that they were already at the cauldron-filling state. What's going on here? Why did the demonic cultivators of the Nanming Temple appear? One of the 5 people spoke. Seeing these 5 people, Octagon Li and Qi Longxing, who had been quarreling non-stop, stopped. Qi Longxing cupped his fists and said, "Chair greets the 5 uncles." It was Octagon Li who brought the 3 guardians of the Nanming Temple here. I hope the 5 uncles will uphold justice. 5 powerful divine senses landed on Octagon Li, causing him to tremble uncontrollably. 5 uncles, please listen to me. I didn't intentionally bring the guardians of the Nanming Temple into the 3 northern islands. That human cultivator killed the White Dragon King's 3rd son. Now, the entire Nanming Temple is hunting this person. In the end, Qi Longxing actually brought this person into our territory. Isn't he causing trouble for us? The expressions of the 5 people in the sky changed. The voice from before sounded again. Nonsense. This is the territory of the 3 northern islands. No matter what the reason is, the demonic cultivators of the Nanming Temple are not allowed to enter without permission. Moreover, the 3 of you dare to fight here. Why aren't you leaving now? Are you planning to stay here forever? The 3 arrogant demonic cultivators at the body condensation stage immediately became listless. They had been blinded by the 3rd Highness Death aura. Otherwise, how could they have trespassed into the 3 northern islands? It's our fault for trespassing into the 3 northern islands without notifying you. Please forgive us, seniors, but before we leave, please hand over that human ant to us so that we can return and report to the White Dragon King, one of the Nanming Temple protectors said. The 5 demonic cultivators in the sky could not be bothered with Qin Fun's life or death. They did not express their stance. This was a tacit agreement. However, before the Nanming Temple protectors could make a move, Qi Longxing immediately shouted, "5 uncles, we definitely can't let them take Qin Fun away. If they take him away, where will the dignity of the 3 northern islands be? When that happens, The demonic cultivators around Gray Island will say that the three northern islands are afraid of the Nanming Temple. They will say that the Nanming Temple only sent 3 demonic cultivators at the body condensation stage, and that the 3 northern islands were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. They could only watch as the other party behaved atrociously and took away cultivators at will. The faces of Octagon Lee and the 3 Nanming Temple protectors darkened. They secretly shot several murderous looks at Qi Longxing. The expressions of the 5 demonic cultivators in the sky changed. In the end, one of them said, "I'll give the 3 of you the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn. If you don't leave the 3 northern islands within that time, you will be killed." The 3 Nanming Temple protectors were unwilling, but they did not dare to stay for a moment longer. The 3 of them immediately stepped on their flying swords and disappeared into the distance. They did not even dare to leave behind any harsh words. "Qi Longxing, you traitor of our clan. Sooner or later, our Black Snake clan will be destroyed in your hands." Octagon Lee cursed angrily. Then, he leaped up and quickly disappeared into the sky. The 5 great demonic cultivators in the sky had not left yet. A voice came from the sky. "Qi Longxing, this is the last time. If I see you bring back human cultivators again, I will send a request to the Black Snake King to expel you from the Black Snake clan. As for that human cultivator, make him leave the 3 northern islands as soon as possible." The voice was still floating in the sky, but at some point, the 5 dazzling lights had already disappeared. Qi Longxing heaved a long sigh of relief. A layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. It was clear that his calmness earlier was all an act. "Brother Qi, I won't say any more words of gratitude. If you need any help in the future, just let me know." Qin Fen realized that Qi Longxing was not only a scum in the eyes of the demonic cultivators of the Nanming Temple, but he did not expect that he would also be looked down upon by the demonic cultivators of the Black Snake clan in the 3 northern islands. Qin Fen suddenly felt some sympathy for him. He even felt that Qi Longxing had been reincarnated into the wrong body. This feeling was like a sheep encouraging its own sheep to befriend a wolf every day. However, the 2 of them were born to be enemies. Qi Longxing waved his hand. He did not seem to be in the mood to talk. He took the lead and walked toward the sky bridge. "Let's go and see my mother first." As soon as Qin Fen stepped onto the sky bridge, he felt a very obscure aura of a formation. This aura was old and strong. It was very similar to some of the great ancient formations he had encountered before. As a rank 5 spiritual formation master, discovering the great ancient formations was very important to Qin Fen. He could not wait to immediately sit cross-legged on the sky bridge and start studying the formations here. However, in the end, he gave up on this idea. At the end of the day, this was still the territory of the 3 northern islands. Right now, he was completely under Qi Longxing's protection. Qi Longxing's status and reputation here was not good. Qin Fen did not want to cause him any more trouble. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.